They're a strong people. Anyone who can be here must be very powerful. My friend, are you a strong one? Is this space your home? They, who are always good at socializing, started greeting each other directly. Killen didn't care much about it. He was just a powerful emperor at the peak of his power. If nothing unexpected happened, this space was the work of this person. Fellow Taoist, home. The woman was touched by the cuteness again. He smiled and said, "My two little Taoist friends, this place is indeed my home. I am here to become stronger through seclusion." "But why are you here?" She was in seclusion here, absorbing the essence of the sun and the moon, communicating with the power of heaven and earth, trying to bring about the great catastrophe of nirvana and ascend to heaven. I didn't expect that she was hiding so high up, and someone could still disturb her. I give up. If it's just two kids, forget it. After all, the two kids don't look ordinary. I don't know whose they are, and they're riding on Killen. They certainly didn't mean it. What a pity it's fellow Taoists' home, so it's not the world we want to ascend to. The two little ones felt a little regretful. Then accept reality. Fellow Taoist, we are here to see the world we have ascended to. Yes, but we didn't find it. I even ran into a fellow Taoist's house. We were careless, sorry fellow Taoist. Express your attitude decisively. After all, they still want to dig the other party back to their ancestors. Even when they are away from home, they never forget their important matters, and they don't mind having more powerful elders. The world of ascension. Are you talking about the immortal world? The woman was stunned. These two kids are really bold. It's really big. Still naive, I think ascension is just about flying high enough. How could an ordinary child possibly know this? Having two kids is definitely not easy. Not to mention that she came to a place like this without her parents. After she sensed the presence of Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao, she was completely stunned. He is actually at the same level as her. I was completely shocked. What a terrifying and incredible kid. Little Taoist friend, it's okay. No wonder the two kids want to ascend. She accepted the fact that she was disturbed by the two kids. She had never seen such a situation before and was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. Hearing this, the two little ones smiled sweetly. Then, fellow Taoist, are you willing to go back to the great Tao ancestor with us? Yes, our Tao ancestor is very powerful. He already has two great emperor elders. Start poaching people decisively. If you can't find a world to ascend to, it would be nice to bring back a strong person along the way. The woman was confused again. The ancestor of the Great Way. Two great emperor elders? That sounds terrifying. However, as a peak great emperor, these things had little appeal to her. Not to mention two great emperors, and the great emperor realm also had different levels of strength. Given her level, she would naturally focus on the higher realms. Then your Tao ancestor is indeed very powerful, but my little Taoist friend, I am not interested in these things. Such a young kid is already recruiting strong people for the sect. That's so sensible that it makes people feel distressed. Oh, the two little ones looked regretful. What a pity, fellow Taoist doesn't want to be poached by them. When Killen saw this situation, he felt that he had to do something. The young master is obviously too young and doesn't know how to seduce people. After all, it is difficult to recruit strong people without any reason. Young master, let's go to the Ascension Gate and take a look. He spoke very loudly, as if he was afraid that others couldn't hear him. Ascension Gate? In a blink of an eye, the two little ones shifted their attention. Big dog, what place is that? This made them very curious. Killen said, Young master, the Ascension Gate is the first place where cultivators who have transcended tribulation and ascended to heaven go to another world. It is an extremely mysterious place. After surviving the tribulation and ascending to heaven, one must pass through the immortal Ascension Gate to truly reach the immortal realm. It's not a big deal. Although the two little masters can't ascend to heaven by themselves and can't find the fairyland, it can do it. It can take the little masters to the Ascension Gate to take a look. The masters shouldn't say that it can't take care of children. Ascension Gate, the woman's eyes widened. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were completely confused. Although it was difficult to understand, it sounded like Big Dog could take them out to play. Great, we can go to the Ascension Gate. That must be the gate to the fairyland. Although we haven't ascended yet and can't see the fairyland, it's okay for us to take a look from the door. Big Dog, you are so awesome. That must be what they thought, so they became excited again. He also didn't forget to reach out and touch Killen's head. Killen gradually lost himself in the flattery of the two kids. Young master, let's go. Okay. The two little ones couldn't wait to get up. Fellow Taoist, we are going to the Ascension Gate. My friend, I'm sorry to bother you. It doesn't matter if they don't dig up strong people. They can just go to the Ascension Gate to take a look and feel relieved. Chapter 177, Sun and Moon Emperor. Seeing the two children about to leave hand in hand, the woman hurriedly called out to them. Wait a moment, little Taoist friend. I can agree to your previous request. To be honest, she also wanted to visit the Ascension Gate. Although she was not very familiar with the Ascension Gate, it sounded like it should be the place where the immortal world guides those who ascend. How could it be simple? This mythical beast, the Kilin, looks extraordinary, and you might actually see it. If she could see it in advance, it would definitely be of great benefit to her. Besides, she had been in seclusion here for a long time, absorbing the essence of the sun and the moon, but she still had no idea what to do. If she went out for a walk, maybe she would gain something. So he didn't care about what he had said before and had to call the two kids first. Otherwise, he would miss the opportunity. Kilin remained silent. Look, haha, tilde women, they changed so quickly. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were stunned for a moment, not knowing why this fellow Taoist suddenly changed his mind. Adults are really difficult to deal with, but they didn't care and started laughing. Huh, Taoist friend, do you really want to go back with us to the great Tao ancestor sect and become an elder? Unexpectedly, the pleasant surprise suddenly came back. Of course, the woman agreed without saying a word. It's not a big deal. Why didn't you tell me earlier so we can discuss it? Oh, my dear fellow Taoist, I am the Sun and Moon Emperor. Being in seclusion here has greatly improved me, so I have been here the entire time. Don't forget to introduce yourself. I hope the two kids can take her to broaden her horizons. That's great. The two little ones jumped up happily. Oh, the Sun and Moon Emperor, then you must be the third elder of our Tao ancestor. That's right, the first elder is Grandpa Changjiang, and the second elder is Emperor Shenwu. They also did not forget to introduce their ancestor of the avenue, which was the facade of the avenue they dug back. Kilin continued to watch quietly as the Sun and Moon Emperor dealt with the two children. Changjiang, Shenwu. When the Sun and Moon Emperor heard these two names, his expression became strange again. Of course, she had heard of these two powerful men, but I didn't expect that both Changjiang Sword Emperor and Shenwu Emperor went to this strain, an unheard of Tao ancestor. That's right, the two kids nodded repeatedly. Emperor Sun and Moon, you will see them when you turn around. They are very powerful. But it's a pity that you can't see Grandpa Changjiang, the Divine Martial Emperor, because we have to go to the Ascension Gate first. It's okay, little Taoist friend, we'll be busy first. The Sun and Moon Emperor didn't care, and what she was waiting for was this sentence from the two kids. As for Changjiang Sword Emperor and Divine Martial Emperor, she didn't want to see them. It was nothing to regret. They were no match for her anyway. As for her ranking as the third elder, forget it, there's no need to worry about such things. Kilin continued to watch quietly as the Sun and Moon Emperor dealt with the two children in front of it. Okay, Sun and Moon Emperor, let's go. I'll take you back to the great Tao ancestor later. My two little Taoist friends, what are your names? I'm Chen Ziyuan. My name is Chen Zihao. We are the patriarch of the great Tao sect. It was actually the sect master. Emperor Sun and Moon was stunned again. Whose kid is this? So amazing. Ziyuan and Zihao, you two are really amazing. Your parents must be amazing too, right? Of course, our parents are awesome. That's right, our daddy is still an immortal, the great, immortal Yangai. He decisively handed over all his family assets. Anyway, Changjiang's grandfather, the great Emperor Shenwu, also knew about it. As the third elder of their ancestral clan, the great Emperor Sun and Moon should also know how powerful their father is. Immortal, the immortal of eternal night. The Sun and Moon Emperor thought of a possibility and looked at the two children with horror. It's really not simple. It's a fairy's baby, or his baby. Eternal Night. She was not unfamiliar with this title, and she didn't think there would be another person with it. But didn't the Emperor of Eternal Night ascend to heaven? How could there still be a child left in the ancient continent? I can't figure it out. I absolutely can't figure it out. Soon, under the leadership of Kilin, they arrived at a gate to Ascension. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were completely excited. Looking at the huge gate of Ascension, I felt extremely longing, whispering to each other in low voices. Zio, how this is the Ascension Gate. It's so huge and so grand. Yes, sister, as long as we step through the Ascension Gate, we will ascend to the fairyland. Then the other side of the Ascension Gate must be the immortal realm. The fairyland must be very beautiful, tilde. The two little ones didn't expect that they could see the Ascension Gate before they could trigger the Nirvana tribulation, and they praised Kilin several times in their hearts. The little hands were clenched tightly, and the little face was red. The Sun and Moon Emperor looked shocked. The visual impact and everything here shocked her. Ascension Gate, unexpectedly, before she even encountered her own nirvana calamity and was temporarily unable to ascend to heaven. She could still see the Ascension Gate coming to scout the area in advance. His eyes also became hot. One day, she will surely ascend to the immortal realm, stepping into the terrifying world on the other side of the immortal gate. And now, she just had the opportunity to take a look at the mystery of the fairyland, and it also made her will even stronger. Killin reminded, Sun and Moon Emperor, I advise you not to have any other thoughts for the time being. The Sun and Moon Emperor probably understood what Killin meant. It simply meant that she shouldn't fool the two kids, and shouldn't rush to the Ascension Gate rashly. Don't worry, Master Killin. This Killin is not simple, otherwise how could it bring them to such a place? It is impossible to find it, so this is all the power of Killin. Besides, she suspected that Killin had said that on purpose. Of course, she didn't mind. The two little ones didn't care about that much, and were only focused on looking at the Ascension Gate. The strong men guarding the Ascension Gate noticed Killin and the others. In an instant, a divine power enveloped them. If you are not an ascended cultivator, why are you so close to the Ascension Gate? That's not right. Two kids, a divine beast, and a powerful emperor at the peak of his powers. None of them are ascenders, so how can they come to the Ascension Gate? How did you find it? It's simply impossible. That means it's the power of the Killin. But this is weird. How could a Killin of this level appear outside the fairyland? Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were really shocked when they first arrived, because they also knew that the strong people here were very powerful and they could not beat them, so they had to restrain themselves. He immediately ran over and hugged the Sun and Moon Emperor. Someone needed to take care of the children at this time, otherwise they would not feel safe. The Sun and Moon Emperor's expression was slightly tense. His legs were both hugged by the two children. It was unclear who was hugging whose thigh. My lords, Ziyuan and Zihao are both descendants of immortals. There are some unexpected situations, and no offense intended. That was the only explanation she had. Although the Emperor of Eternal Night might not be a big deal in the eyes of these terrifying masters. The strong gatekeeper was confused. Although this is possible, there are so many immortals and so many descendants. Not everyone can come here. Leave immediately and don't do it again. Also, Killin, stay here or don't blame us for being ruthless. They didn't know how a fairy beast of this level could escape from the fairyland, but since it came to their doorstep, they couldn't let it leave. This is the rule of the fairy world, regardless of any reason. After all, what if the Killin escapes without permission? Therefore, we must let the Jidao Imperial Palace investigate. If there really is something hidden, then we can let Killin go. Chapter 178, Daddy and Mommy. They stole our big dog. The Sun and Moon Emperor's face froze. Killin brought them here. Is it appropriate to keep Killin here? But what was going on? Why was the other party keeping Killin for no apparent reason? Was it because of the rules of the immortal world? It seemed that no matter what, she would find it difficult to do anything. But Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were unhappy and became a little anxious. No, Big Dog is our friend. That's right, we won't abandon our friends. They also knew that Big Dog helped them because they wanted to see the fairyland. If Big Dog was captured, they would feel guilty. Young master, don't panic. Killin was deeply moved. Then I thought, this should be the gate to the Ascension realm of Jishiandao Immortal Realm. It also knew Zia Zhiao's identity, so what was the point of it? He said confidently, I am a fairy beast, but my situation is special. You can't afford to provoke me. Besides, if you scare them and make them cry, you might get into trouble. Just tell me what you can do to them. Faced with Killin's provocation and arrogance, the Sun and Moon Emperor panicked first and immediately ran away with the two children in his arms, saying, Don't take them with you when you brag. The two little ones, on the other hand, looked confused, crying. Was the big dog talking to them again? Then why were they crying? How about trying crying? I started to feel conflicted. The group of strong guards seemed to have heard a huge joke. I wonder where this Killin got the courage to challenge the Jidao Imperial Palace. Ignorance is bliss, but they represent the rules of the fairy world. Even if it means death, they will not let us go. He said coldly, even if the immortal emperor himself comes, he must abide by the rules. Killin, you can't leave today no matter what. Arrest him and take him back first. But at this moment, Wawawu Tilda, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao started crying immediately, and even did not forget to squeeze some water into their eyes. Otherwise, they would not be able to cry. The big dog is going to be taken away. Big Dog is so pitiful. He was still muttering to himself. The Sun and Moon Emperor's eyes widened and he had a headache. The two kids really started crying. The group of guards were also confused. Are you sure you didn't play them? At the same time, a wave of power appeared from Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao's bodies, and then two phantoms appeared. It was obviously the method that Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao left on the two little ones. It's used for protection, but I didn't expect it to be used in this situation. Yuan or Hayar, what happened to you? Huh, Daddy and Mommy. It's Daddy and Mommy. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao stopped crying and smiled happily when they saw this. Although they are not real parents, they are very powerful and will definitely be able to get the big dog back. Then he immediately complained, Daddy and Mommy, they stole our big dog. That's right, they don't want Big Dog to leave with us. He pointed at the guards with his little hand, his face serious. The Sun and Moon Emperor felt very uncomfortable holding someone else's baby, especially when he was being stared at by the shadows of Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao. I'm confused, really confused. The father and mother of the two kids. So this is the rumored Emperor of Eternal Night. Killen's eyes lit up, and he knew that his master would come to cover the problem. It was not his fault, he was just trying to make his little master happy. Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao's shadows were helpless, and then looked towards the guard. Everyone, this is a misunderstanding. The guard's eyes widened upon seeing this. I just knew that the two kids were playing them. I don't even want to cry anymore. I'm happier than anyone else to see my parents. Then he took a closer look and was completely dumbfounded. I have seen it. It was indeed a misunderstanding. Change your attitude immediately. The two kids are truly the offspring of immortals, and they are. We see nothing, we are blind. Seeing this, the shadows of Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao turned back and warned, Yuan or Hayar, don't run around. And you Killen. Okay, Daddy and Mommy, we're just here to take a look. Don't blame the big dog, the two little ones replied quickly. Yuaner and Hayar, remember to come back early. After saying that, Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao's shadows hid again. Okay, Daddy and Mommy. The two little ones respectfully bid farewell to their parents. Zyro, how it's amazing. Daddy and Mommy actually ran out of us. Yes, sister, Daddy and Mommy are really the most powerful. The Sun and Moon Emperor was shocked. Is this the protection method left by the two kids' parents? But why did those immortal guards change their minds so quickly after seeing the two kids' parents? What's going on? She couldn't understand it, but it was enough to show that both the Eternal Night Emperor and his wife were extraordinary after they ascended to become immortals. The two kids came to their senses and turned to look at the line of guards. Then are you still going to steal our big dog? Yes. No, it's not happening. The guard quickly shook his head. Please feel free to do as you please. How could this be the descendant of an immortal who wandered into the lower world? This is simply a little ancestor. The little ancestor is the child of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor and the Empress of the Extreme Imperial Palace. Shocked, I've heard for a long time that the Immortal Emperor Yangai and the Empress Zia Jiao of the Jidao Imperial Palace are in love, but I never expected. Their child is already this big. See it with your own eyes. And they even went to the netherworld. What's going on? Anyway, no matter what, Zia Jiao must have obtained the consent of the Palace Master of Jidao Imperial Palace. Rounding it off, it means that Killen also obtained the consent of the Palace Master of Jidao Imperial Palace, not to mention that the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor was still standing by. In this case, it is reasonable, and they are meddling in other people's business. Okay, upon hearing this, the two little ones were very happy. They would be very comfortable if these strong men did not steal their Killen. Then he looked around curiously. Killen strolled around with a clear conscience, thinking that it was okay. It was okay because it and its master had not followed the rules when they went to the underworld. It didn't matter. The Sun and Moon Emperor looked terrified. Oh my God, these two kids are so scary. As soon as my parents show up, all the immortals guarding the gate to Ascension have to pretend they didn't see anything. The rules of this fairy world are too sloppy. Only after Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were satisfied did they leave the Ascension gate. Su Qingsu, who was in Zhangzhou, finally gained something. I thought it would take some time and use the power of these strong men to find the whereabouts of Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao's family, but I didn't expect to get news so soon. Eternal Night Forbidden Zone. The great Dao ancestor. This made her look a little weird. If nothing unexpected happens, the Eternal Night Forbidden Zone is the trace left by young Master Chen in the ancient continent. There's been some movement in the Eternal Night Forbidden Zone recently, and it must be related to Master Chen. Not to mention there are two children, it sounds like, Ziyuan and Zihao. Connecting them together in this way makes sense. Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence in the world? It must be their family playing a joke. I really have some free time. Su Kingsu's eyes were slightly hot. Whether she could get two kids or not depended on how fast she could find them. It's just that the name, De Dao Zuzong, is really not right. Not to mention that I heard that the two kids are the sect leaders. These parents are so willful. The ancestor of the great Dao is not in Zhangzhou. In Dangzhou. After Su Kingsu had found out everything, she set off without saying a word. Chapter 179, Meet the Baby First. After Su Kingsu left, she left behind a group of strong men who looked at each other in bewilderment. I dare not say anything more. Why is the immortal envoy so interested in the affairs of the eternal Night Emperor? I'm not sure, but the immortal envoy came to the ancient continent, most likely for the Emperor of Eternal Night. They all realized this. Otherwise, Su Kingsu wouldn't have kept asking about the Eternal Night Forbidden Zone. It might alert the immortal messenger to come. How could this be so simple? I thought the fairy messenger came for some big event, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Doesn't sound like a big deal, does it? Could it be that the Emperor of Eternal Night has offended the immortal envoy? This immortal envoy has come to the ancient continent specifically to erase all traces of the Emperor of Eternal Night. I don't know. How can we guess what such a being is thinking? That's right. Even a group of strong men couldn't figure it out, so they had to give up. It's a pity that he wanted to bring the genius of his own faction to make himself familiar to the immortal envoy. But the immortal envoy didn't even look at him. After reaching the goal, I left. It is unknown whether there will be such an opportunity next time, and it will probably be very difficult. However, they were content to have the opportunity to see someone from the fairyland. Zhang Gu's expression was still fiery. He murmured fairyland. Although he failed to perform well in front of the immortal's appearance had completely activated his will. Hua Xiangrong and the others thought so too. Unfortunately, the immortals never gave them a chance to show off. Clearly, in the eyes of such beings, they were just ordinary beings, not even worth noticing. But this will not undermine their confidence. But they were also very confused. A being like the immortal envoy should be more powerful than the Eternal Night Emperor, right? After all, the Eternal Night Emperor had only ascended for a short time. But why would the immortal be so interested in the Eternal Night Forbidden Zone? Even at the cost of the lower world, they couldn't understand the cause and effect at that level. The ancestor of the Great Way. After seeing the Ascension Gate, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao finally returned with the Sun and Moon Emperor. Judging from their smiles, they were obviously very satisfied with this outing. Ascension, you must ascend to take a look. The Sun and Moon Emperor could not calm down for a long time. Something beyond her cognition was suddenly accessible to her, and she felt that happiness came unexpectedly. Although seeing the Ascension Gate did not mean anything, it was enough for her to gain some insights. At this moment, she looked at the sect in front of her. Never mind, she is the third elder of the great Tao sect after all. He was kidnapped by two kids. Then she will wait here for the great catastrophe of Nirvana to come and ascend to heaven. Maybe you will come into contact with more unknown things and have greater opportunities. Oh, the Sun and Moon Emperor, this is our ancestor of the great Tao. Wait a minute, we'll go call Grandpa Chang Zheng and Emperor Shenwu, and you guys should get to know them too. The two kids introduced their territory. The Sun and Moon Emperor withdrew his thoughts and smiled. Okay, Ziyu and Zihao, I will definitely protect the ancestor of the great Tao. Well, let's play with the two little clan masters. There's nothing we can do, they're just too awesome. However, just as she finished speaking, she noticed a woman appear. Not knowing whether it was an enemy or a friend, the Sun and Moon Emperor immediately became alert. The other party appeared silently, so he must be very strong, but she had never seen such a strong person before. And this person was Su Kingsu, who had rushed over. Su Kingsu didn't even bother looking at the Dao ancestor. Her first focus was on Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao. It was undeniable. This little face looked so much like their parents, or twins. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao also discovered Su Kingsu. He exclaimed, "Zio Hao, look at that fellow Taoist, he's so pretty." "Yes, sister. Fellow Taoist, are you here to be an elder in our Daozu sect?" He then began to ask. Su Kingsu smiled happily amid the sounds of praise. The baby in Jiao's family is really good at talking. And she finally found the ancestor of the great Tao. He smiled and said, "You are Ziyuan and Zihao, right?" He just called her fellow Taoist and asked her if she was here to be an elder. It was very cute. The two little ones were shocked. The other party had never seen them before, but actually knew their names. Yes, fellow Taoist, how do you know our names? I accepted it decisively. Because, as Su Kingsu spoke, she suddenly disappeared from the spot, and the next moment she appeared next to the two little ones. Without saying a word, he picked up one of them, kissed their faces hard, and started to ravage them. Because I'm so awesome, I know everything. The Sun and Moon Emperor's expression changed. The one who steals the baby. He forcefully kissed the young master. As the third elder of the Tao sect, you shouldn't sit idly by. But I heard a sound. Don't worry, I have no bad intentions towards them, and you are no match for me. Su Kingsu reminded but didn't care. Just kidding, she doesn't even need the consent of her two kids, parents to pet them. Seeing this, the Sun and Moon Emperor could only withdraw his thoughts. Putting aside the fact that the other party certainly didn't seem to be doing anything bad to the young patriarch, judging by her strength, she wouldn't be a match for this woman. This made her a little unbelievable. She was already at the peak of the great Emperor realm, but facing this woman, she felt a deep sense of powerlessness that she could not stop. He decisively sold the little patriarch and quietly watched others petting their children. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were both stunned by the kiss, and their little faces were almost deformed. Then his eyes widened. They didn't even notice the presence of this fellow Taoist before he forcefully kissed them. In other words, this fellow Taoist is very powerful. It is reasonable for the strong man who came to the door to be the elder, and it is not a loss for them to be kissed. He said seriously, "My friend, this is not good. You can't kiss us without our consent." That's right, our parents haven't agreed yet. Of course, the principles that need to be explained still need to be explained. Then think about it, the beautiful sister also kissed them in the middle of the night. Forget it, there is no need to worry about such a small thing. Su Kingsu was touched by her cuteness again, and even tried to reason with her. Then she is unreasonable. Without saying a word, he bullied the two kids again. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao both felt hopeless and stared at Su Kingsu in silence. It happened so suddenly. What is going on? They can't seem to refuse. After Su Kingsu was satisfied, she said, "Ziyuan and Zihao, I don't need your parents' consent. She just took care of the baby. What can you do to her?" However, the two children have already reached the peak of the great Emperor realm. It seems that, although Mr. Chen had some accidents, he is still doing very well in raising the children on his own. This also means that the two children will be able to ascend soon and go to the Jidao Imperial Palace to play. The Sun and Moon Emperor felt heartbroken when he saw the young sect leader with faint red lip marks on his face. The young master was bullied in front of her. She had no way. When the ancestors first came to the Tao, they did not take on their responsibilities. This feeling is very depressing. But what about this woman calling herself aunt? Is there such a powerful aunt for two kids? Huh, are you our aunt? The two little ones also realized what this meant. Can my aunt do this without the consent of our parents? This left them bewildered, not knowing why a relative suddenly appeared. Of course, Su Kingsu said confidently. But at that moment, a voice came. Kingsu. Chapter 180, Aunt Kingsu. Zia Jiao appeared and looked at Su Kingsu speechlessly. I didn't expect Su Kingsu to come here. I wonder what happened. But Su Kingsu bullied her kids so badly as soon as they met, and she would probably have to pay for it later. Chen Jun was beside his wife, so they had obviously noticed Su Kingsu's appearance and had come out specially. They just didn't know why Su Kingsu had come. Daddy and Mommy. Daddy and Mommy. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao immediately found their backbone and looked like they wanted to break away from Su Kingsu and ask for a hug from their daddy and mommy. There was no way out. They could only be held down and ravaged in front of their aunt. Jia Yao, Su Kingsu was extremely happy. She finally found her. Mr. Chen. At the same time, he didn't let go of the two kids. From now on, she, the aunt, takes over the care of the two children. The Sun and Moon Emperor looked shocked. Wait a minute, the young master's parents? Oh my God, they're alive. She'd only seen shadows at the Ascension Gate before, and she'd assumed they were just shadows protecting the two kids. Unexpectedly, their real bodies were also on the desolate ancient continent. If the parents of the two kids are not ordinary people, and the Emperor of Eternal Night has ascended to become an immortal, then how could they appear in the ancient continent? It was completely beyond her comprehension. However, it can be confirmed that this woman does recognize the parents of the two children, so there is no problem. Yuaner and Hayar, don't worry, they are not outsiders. Chen Jun did not pick up the two children. Then he laughed and said, "Why did Miss Su come here?" "It's a long story, I'll tell you later." Su Kingsu was not in a hurry. "Jiao, long time no see." "Kingsu, long time no see." Zia Jiao smiled and didn't pick up the baby. Let Su Kingsu take care of the pair of children. After all, Su Kingsu had been talking about it for a long time. The two little ones in Su Kingsu's arms stopped struggling. Looked back and forth. Huh, are you Aunt Kingsu? Aunt Kingsu's house must be very big. They are still thinking about this matter. Is the house big? Su Kingsu was a little puzzled, wondering what Zia Jiao and Chen Junai had said to the two kids. All I could say was, I'm your Aunt Kingsu. Aunt Kingsu's house is really, really big. It turns out to be Aunt Kingsu. We heard about it from Daddy and Mommy. That's right, Aunt Kingsu's house is really big. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao became excited. Welcome, Aunt Kingsu. His attitude changed immediately. There was nothing he could do because Aunt Kingsu's house was too big. Then he stared at Su Kingsu's face with wide eyes. You can even touch it. This made Su Kingsu feel curious again, and she immediately got close to him. Okay, when you ascend to the immortal world, Aunt Kingsu will also welcome you. I finally got to play with Zia Jiao and Chen Junai's baby. I feel so good. She may be very busy recently. After all, it is a rare opportunity and ordinary people don't dare to touch their children. Great, the two little ones were even happier when they heard about ascension. The Sun and Moon Emperor was stunned again, ascending to the immortal realm. Could it be that this woman is also from the immortal realm? Oh my God! What's going on? How could they get here? No wonder she felt powerless to resist, because the people in front of her were all immortals. Silent and silent. Then, after the two little ones made arrangements with the Sun and Moon Emperor, they all went to the Pure World Valley. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao both felt that they had gained a powerful backer, so they were smiling and asking all kinds of questions. Su Kingsu also communicated with them patiently. After a while, Zia Jiao asked, Kingsu, what happened? She didn't think that Su Kingsu suddenly came to the ancient continent for no reason. Not to mention anything else, the palace master may not allow it. Su Kingsu's smile faded slightly, and she said solemnly, Jiao, Master Chen, the Demon Emperor's seal has been broken, and he has returned to the Demon Abyss. So that's how it is. Zia Jiao's face was also slightly solemn. This Demon Emperor can really run away. It is true that the 33 immortal realms will be in trouble, but of course, they are not completely helpless. What else? Chen Junai was not surprised at all. Su Kingsu asked doubtfully, Jiao, how do you know there are others? Of course, otherwise, if it was just the Demon Emperor, the Palace Master would be able to deal with it. Otherwise, why would he let you come here? Zia Jiao asked back. Although the Demon Emperor was suppressed by her husband, the Palace Master would not send Su Kingsu so easily. Oh, that's right, Su Kingsu continued. In addition, a powerful female demon has appeared named Eternal Day Demon, whose strength is at the peak of the Immortal Emperor realm. The peak of the Immortal Emperor? Zia Jiao understood after hearing this. Regardless of why this Eternal Day Demon suddenly appeared, it can be seen that the 33 immortal realms were indeed caught off guard. Palace Master, this is clearly something that the Taoist 33 immortal realms cannot handle. The Eternal Day Demon. Chen Junai's mind began to feel a little strange. Eternal daylight sounds like a light attribute. That's right, Su Kingsu nodded. This Eternal Day Demon appeared suddenly, and our origins are completely unknown. He broke the seal that suppressed the Demon Emperor and took him away. Even if the Palace Master and the many immortal emperors joined forces, they couldn't stop him. We don't know their purpose at the moment, otherwise we might lose control. That's why the Palace Master asked me to inform you. Well, she is here to shake people. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao sat quietly in Su Kingsu's arms, and they listened in. They didn't interrupt their father, mother, and Aunt Kingsu from talking about business. Although they didn't understand, their little faces were also very serious. So the Palace Master asked you to ask us to return to the fairyland? Zia Jiao asked. Facing a demon at the peak Immortal Emperor level, the Palace Master was afraid that he really couldn't deal with it, especially since this Eternal Day Demon was extremely mysterious, and his purpose was still unknown. The Palace Master didn't say it explicitly. Su Kingsu shook her head, but that's probably what she meant. It all depends on what you think. After saying that, he glanced at Chen Junai. Chen Junai said, This Eternal Day Demon appeared suddenly and he's so powerful. Perhaps he's some hidden demon. Don't worry, Miss Su. If the Eternal Day Demon threatens the Jidao Imperial Palace, I will naturally take action to deal with it. Opponents of the same level were rare, so he was also secretly excited, not to mention that he was a demon with the attribute of light. But now that the couple is in a relationship and has a second child to take care of, their excitement has subsided a lot. Zia Jiao thought the same. If possible, she didn't want her husband to take risks. But since it involved the Jidao Imperial Palace, they couldn't just sit back and watch. Okay, Su Kingsu smiled. Chen Junai's words were enough, and she didn't bother to care about the rest. Then he started pinching Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao's faces. The two kids who were supposed to be serious couldn't take it seriously anymore. What were Daddy, Mommy, and Aunt Kingsu talking about? It sounds so awesome. Zia Jia withdrew her thoughts and asked, Kingsu, do you want to go back and report? Go back, no rush. Su Kingsu shook her head repeatedly. The palace master said that the eternal daylight demon doesn't seem to have much hostility towards the immortal realm. He just took the demon emperor away. So there shouldn't be any major problems for the time being. I'm not in a hurry to return and report. She had run down here with great difficulty. Such opportunities were rare, so she didn't want to go back so soon. Then he took the two kids away and said, You two can chat, I'll play with Ziyuan and Zihao. Ziyuan and Zihao, Aunt Kingsu is here to play with you. Okay, the two little ones would definitely not refuse someone to take them with them. Just follow Su Kingsu obediently. Chapter 180, One Changes in the Immortal World. Seeing this, Chen Junai and Zia Jiao also had some free time. Husband, do you think such a powerful demon can be born in the fairy world? Zia Jiao asked. Chen Junai was somewhat pensive. Madam, do you think this eternal day demon has some hidden secrets? Zia Jiao shook her head slightly. I don't know, but the sudden appearance of such a powerful demon is indeed strange. If he was a hidden demon and only showed up now, it would be a bit sudden. Furthermore, this eternal day demon doesn't seem to have much hostility towards the immortal realm, which is indeed different. Then, why did she rescue the demon emperor? Chen Junai pondered for a moment. Madam is right. Perhaps this eternal daylight demon is not a demon from the demonic abyss at all. That is worth speculating on. And she might have other motives in rescuing the demon emperor. In any case, the eternal day demon hasn't made any movement, so we don't need to pay any attention to him. Zia Jiao nodded, not knowing what the eternal day demon's purpose was. Husband, what do you think? What are you thinking about? Do you want to fight the eternal day demon? After all, opponents of this level are rare. Well, what does the lady think? Husband, I don't want you to take any risks. I don't want to. Then we shall wait and see what happens. But my husband, the demon emperor, has escaped. I know, ma'am. What if the demon emperor causes trouble for you? The demon emperor is not stupid, right? That's right, maybe there are conflicts among the demons themselves. Madam is right, but the unexpected appearance of the eternal day demon will probably make things different. Chen Junai shook his head slightly. The eternal day demon appeared at a really bad time, disturbing their leisure. Zia Jiao hummed, If this happens, there will indeed be some changes within the demon clan. Husband, I just hope they don't target you. Why do you think so, ma'am? Intuition, after all, my husband is a bit eye-catching. Indeed, a little bit. Thinking of this, Chen Junai hugged his wife and touched her belly. It's best if no one disturbs them. The ancestor of the Great Way. The three emperors were staring at each other at this moment. Emperor Shenwu was very surprised. I didn't expect that Emperor Sun and Moon would come here. I never expected that the legendary Sun and Moon Emperor was dug out by the two young sect leaders. I don't know what happened. Aren't you here too? Said the Sun and Moon Emperor indifferently. In other words, she was more interested in everything she had seen before. The divine martial emperor didn't care. I wonder how the Sun and Moon Emperor met these two young sect masters, and why was he willing to follow them to the great Tao ancestor sect? He is quite curious about this matter. Changjeng Sword Emperor also glanced sideways slightly, because he was also interested. However, the Sun and Moon Emperor is still stronger, and has reached his current level. The Sun and Moon Emperor was speechless when he thought about this. She had hidden so high up, yet she was still bumped into. I was in seclusion when I happened to meet two young sect masters. Then I was fortunate enough to follow them to the Ascension Gate, and then I came here. The Gate of Ascension, Emperor Shenwu frowned. They had never seen this thing before while following the young master. The Sun and Moon Emperor nodded, his expression shocked. This is the passage for the Ascenders to the immortal world. What? Emperor Shenwu was shocked. Indeed, the Ascension Gate does exist. I saw it with my own eyes. It's just that it's impossible for ordinary people to find it. The Sun and Moon Emperor was complacent. Look at the Emperor Shenwu. He looks like he has never seen the world before. Changjeng Sword Emperor was also very surprised. The passage to the fairyland. The Sun and Moon Emperor is so lucky, Emperor Shenwu said sourly. Although they have never seen the Ascension Gate, it would definitely be of great benefit to them if they could see it. I didn't expect that the Sun and Moon Emperor could do this. Of course, the Sun and Moon Emperor was very satisfied. Besides that, I also saw a real immortal. The Divine Martial Emperor and the Sword Emperor Changjeng were not so interested. As expected, it's the former Emperor of Eternal Night, right? Emperor Sun and Moon was stunned. You have seen it too. Of course, but we didn't expect that Emperor Eternal Night would be able to return to the ancient continent after ascending. It's really rare. This made them a little puzzled. I can't figure it out. Otherwise, if the Emperor of Eternal Night comes down, wouldn't he be invincible in the lower world? Is it reasonable? Is it normal? Indeed, the Sun and Moon Emperor also agreed, but she did not dare to speculate too much. Besides the young master's parents, I also saw other immortals. There are others. Emperor Shenwu was stunned. Is it really possible to return to the ancient continent so easily? That's right, the young master's aunt is acquainted with the young master's parents. The Sun and Moon Emperor liked to see the Shenwu Emperor look like he had never seen the world. The expression of Emperor Shenwu froze. He didn't expect that the young sect leader had an aunt. Their whole family is immortal. I think it's normal if you think about it. It seems that this is something that is difficult for us to touch. He couldn't help but feel a little bitter, but this also further activated his will to ascend to the immortal world. When he becomes an immortal in the future, he can also come back to the ancient continent to take a look. But why would the young sect leader go to the Ascension sect? It was a killin that led us there, and the young sect leader was probably just curious about Ascension, so he just went for a stroll. The Sun and Moon Emperor was also helpless, because they just had nothing to do and went for a stroll. Can this be turned around casually? They had never heard of, let alone come into contact with, the Ascension sect, and they felt that the Sun and Moon Emperor was extremely lucky. I see, it seems the young master is also preparing to ascend. This is very discouraging. Such a young kid, but his goals are so lofty, how embarrassing for them. The Sun and Moon Emperor nodded. Young sect master does think so, but I think that the Eternal Night Emperor has become very unusual since he ascended to the immortal realm. The two kids kept telling her that they wanted to ascend to heaven, but she felt that their parents were more terrifying. Otherwise, those powerful guards of Shanxian Gate wouldn't be so honest. And open the back door in front of you. Emperor Sun and Moon, what do you mean? Emperor Shenwu became interested. The Sun and Moon Emperor gathered his thoughts and said, We were stopped by the powerful guards of the Ascension Gate. They said they wanted to capture Killin. The young patriarch pretended to cry twice. Then the shadowy figures of his parents appeared. The guards, as if they had seen a ghost, didn't pursue the matter and their attitude changed drastically, allowing us to leave. So I guess that after Emperor Yang I ascended to the immortal realm, he must have a certain status in the immortal realm. This status is not simple, or he must have some kind of privilege. Chapter 182, Qin Tiandao. Pretending to cry. This is clearly the young master's skill to summon his parents. The Shenwu Emperor pondered for a moment. If it is true, as the Sun and Moon Emperor said, then the Eternal Night Emperor is indeed not a simple person. Although he had never seen the Ascension Gate, let alone the immortal realm, he knew that some things were bound to exist, such as rules. If the Emperor of Eternal Night has such power because of his status, then there must be strength behind this status, said the Sword Emperor Changjeng. This makes sense. Otherwise, how could Emperor Yang just run back to the ancient continent like this? The Sun and Moon Emperor nodded, and the young master's mother. The three of them gathered together and gossiped for a while. The conclusion is that the young master's parents should also be very powerful in the fairy world. This made them even more shocked. After all, it was well known that the Emperor of Eternal Night should have ascended not long ago. A few decades were just a blink of an eye for them. They didn't expect that Emperor Eternal Night had come back after ascending to the fairyland. With the baby. In any case, this is something we cannot access. Instead, it's better to focus on practicing. That makes sense. Our ancestor is quite extraordinary. This must be the work of the young sect leader's parents. Ha 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 ha, so we are really lucky. It looked like they were just joking around, accompanying the young clan leader in his struggles. But in reality, their luck was truly incredible, and it was undeniable. By the way, the young sect leader wouldn't open a sect for no reason, right? The Sun and Moon Emperor felt that this didn't make sense. Indeed, it is said that the young master wanted to protect their unborn sister. A younger sister, regardless of whether she's born or not, does she still need their protection? Isn't that unnecessary? The conclusion is that the young master's parents were also playing with them. This family is so willful. So that's how it is. Then let's accompany the young sect leader to ascend to heaven. The Sun and Moon Emperor knew what was going on and decided to curry favor with him first. Moreover, the ancestor of the great Tao is indeed very extraordinary. After all, it is the work of an immortal, with rich spiritual energy and countless treasures. She feels that she is able to do it again. The addition of a great elder to the Tao ancestor made Chu Ziu and the others smile with joy. Although they still rarely saw the elders, it did not affect their shock. Is this what background horror feels like? This is so cool. Not long after, Qin Tiando arrived. Ever since he was busy for a while and returned to the Nine Saints Palace last time, he broke through to the realm of the great emperor. Of course, thanks to the help of the two kids and the help of Emperor Eternal Night. Otherwise, we might have been stuck at this bottleneck for a long time. He was undoubtedly extremely excited to have achieved a breakthrough, so he came to announce the good news without hesitation. It was also a token of gratitude. Seeing this, Chu Ziu certainly didn't dare to neglect it. Greetings, great Saint Lord. Although Qin Tiandao is not from their Diazu sect, he visits their Diazu sect quite frequently. After all, he is a powerful saint. Qin Tiandao looked around. Where are Ziyuan and Zihao? Chu Ziu said, the young master is playing with their aunt. Aunt? Qin Tiandao was stunned. What was going on? Two kids and an aunt. Then he didn't care. Okay, I'll wait for them. But at this moment, Qin Tiandao suddenly sensed several auras approaching. Qin Tiandao, what do you want to see the young sect leader for? It turned out to be the Sun and Moon Emperor and others who had arrived. Of course, they had heard of Qin Tiandao, the leader of the 9 holy temples. However, they thought Qin Tiandao was here to cause trouble, but they found out that Qin Tiandao was here to find the young sect leader. And it seems that Qin Tiandao has also successfully broken through to the realm of the great emperor. The smile on Qin Tiandao's face suddenly froze. He quickly bowed. Meetings to Changjeng Sword Emperor, Shenwu Emperor, and Sun and Moon Emperor. What merits and abilities did he have to deserve to be personally welcomed by the 3 great emperors? And why are these 3 in the ancestor of the road? It scared him. I'm here to chat with Ziyuan and Zihao. Originally, he wanted to tell the 2 kids the good news that he had broken through to the level of the great emperor, but facing 3 powerful great emperors, he really couldn't say it out loud, not to mention how bitter it was. So you have a good relationship with the young sect leader? Asked the Emperor Shenwu. Qin Tiandao replied, Ziyuan and Zihao once caused trouble in my 9 saints' temple. I see, Changjeng Sword Emperor continued with a smile. Zai Yuan and Zai Hao are busy playing. Then let us chat with you. Qin Tiandao felt a chill all over his body. Sword Emperor Changjeng is joking. But why are the 3 of you here? He was also very puzzled. The time he was in seclusion to break through to become the emperor. How come these 3 strong men were recruited by 2 kids? Oh my God! Emperor Sun and Moon. Don't ask around, we are here to guard the great Tao ancestor. In the Pure Valley, without having to worry about the safety of the great Tao ancestor, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were both focused on their ascension. Aunt Kingsu is also a fairy, so of course they are happy to play with her. At this moment they were washed by Aunt Kingsu. Aunt Kingsu, are our father and mother powerful? Chen Ziyuan tilted his head. Yes, Aunt Kingsu must know that our father and mother are very powerful, right? Chen Zihao said excitedly. Because they thought that their parents must have gone to the fairyland without telling them, and Aunt Kingsu must know more. Su Kingsu took care of the baby with a smile on her face. After all, it wasn't easy for a parent to have 2 kids. With her taking care of the baby, Chen Zhana and Zia Jiao could spend more time alone together. Ziyuan and Zihao, your father and mother are very, very powerful. How powerful are Daddy and Mommy? The 2 little ones were extremely excited, because they only knew that Daddy and Mommy were powerful, but they had no idea how powerful they were. Well, they're so powerful that no one can control them. Oh, the 2 kids couldn't quite understand. How powerful is it if they can't control their father and mother? Forget it, never mind. Then Aunt Kingsu, we can also ascend to heaven in the future, right? Of course, when you ascend to the fairyland, you will get more treasures and become even more powerful. Su Kingsu began to make big promises to the 2 children. The 2 little ones were also very cooperative and surprised. Aunt Kingsu, can we become as powerful as our father and mother? Su Kingsu thought about it and felt a little embarrassed. This may be a bit difficult. Of course, you can become as powerful as your father and mother. Then just keep painting the pie. It's not that difficult to coax a baby. Great, we're going to be as awesome as Mom and Dad. By the way, Ziyuan and Zihao, the immortal realm is in a bit of trouble right now. When you ascend to the immortal realm in the future, you must not run around. Okay. Aunt Kingsu, we know, we definitely won't run around. So good, Su Kingsu was very satisfied. Chen Ziyuan suddenly thought of something. Aunt Kingsu, let us tell you a secret. Our parents are going to have a little sister. Chen Zihao began to show off. Chapter 183, The Demonic Abyss Legion reappears. Give birth to a younger sister. Su Kingsu's eyes widened. The couple actually had such thoughts. Yuo Tilda. She understood. Chen Zhena and Zia Jiao must have thought that having two children was an accident, so they wanted to have another one. Ziyuan and Zihao, how did you know? Are you going to tell the kids about this too? Aren't you embarrassed? Chen Ziyuan smiled and said, because we hope that Daddy and Mommy will give birth to a younger sister. Daddy and Mommy have also agreed to us, so Daddy and Mommy will definitely give birth to a younger sister. Chen Zihao felt happy when he thought about this. My sister is definitely not as powerful as him, because he is about to ascend to the celestial realm. When he does, he will definitely be able to protect my sister. Su Kingsu felt that the two children were really little cotton-padded jackets. It was obviously an excuse that came to her doorstep, asking her parents to give birth to a smaller child. She suspected that Zia Jiao and Chen Zhena had already wanted to have children, so there was no need for them to bring up such a matter. Ziyuan and Zihao, let me congratulate you on the birth of your little sister. She naturally wanted to watch the fun and enjoy the fun, and she also hoped that Zia Jiao and Chen Zhena would work harder to give birth to a baby for her to pet. Just thinking about the Eternal Day demon made her a little worried. She didn't want the couple to be disturbed by any other accidents again, otherwise it would be too difficult for them. Thank you, Aunt Kingsu. All three parties were very happy. Su Kingsu could only suppress her thoughts and focus on taking care of the baby. Ziyuan and Zihao, then your aunt will give you a gift. Yeah. Aunt Kingsu, what is that gift? It's a small world, your little world, and everything is up to you. Huh, small world. That's right, Auntie will take you to have a look. Time passes slowly. Fairyland. With the mighty appearance of the demon Abyss Legion, the 33 immortal realms were sweating again. The shadows of demons appeared in all the fairy realms, causing the fairy world to fall into chaos again. Many cultivators can only fight against the demons together. Otherwise, once one fairyland falls, the consequences will be unimaginable, and no one can stay out of it. The war is about to break out. Where do the demons get the courage to invade our fairyland? Could it be another attempt to incite the Eternal Night Emperor to revolt? This is simply outrageous. This is the demon clan declaring war on our fairyland. They are still harboring evil intentions. Everyone knows that the demon emperor has been sealed by the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Wouldn't it be courting death to invade the fairyland with the demon's current power? We must slay the demons at all costs, show no mercy, kill back to the demon abyss. Countless cultivators also became angry, who could feel comfortable after being invaded by the demons again and again. The immortals from all the major forces also became busy, fighting together against the suddenly appearing demon Abyss Legion. Boom, boom, boom. Soon, powerful demons appeared. Haha, the demon emperor has arrived. If he sets foot on the 33 immortal realms again, you guys won't resist. What? Upon hearing this, countless monks looked horrified. The demon emperor is here in person. How is that possible? Devils, stop trying to deceive people. It must be a plan of the demon clan. Humph, ignorant. The seal of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor has been broken, and the demon emperor has already returned to the demon abyss. He is even more powerful. This time, let's see who can stop the progress of our demon clan. Many demons laughed wildly. Of course, their confidence did not come from the demon emperor who suddenly ran back, but from the mysterious Eternal Day demon. But they are not responsible for explaining too much. The seal set by the immortal emperor of Eternal Night has been broken. The demon emperor has escaped. No wonder the demons are so confident. The faces of many cultivators became solemn. The demon emperor slipped away without a sound. HMPH, even so, anyone who invades my fairyland will surely die. If the immortal emperor of Eternal Night can seal your demon emperor once, he can do it countless times. Ha 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 ha, what if the immortal emperor of Eternal Night appears again? Even if all the immortal emperors in the immortal realm join forces, they still can't stop the progress of our demon race. Many demons know clearly that this time their demon clan has become powerful. It doesn't matter if we don't kidnap the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, because an even more powerful demon warrior has appeared. In this way, even if the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor appears, they will not be slaughtered. Boom, 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 after both sides exchanged harsh words, a fierce battle broke out. At the same time, The same situation occurred in all the major immortal realms. Soon, the news that the sealed demon emperor had escaped and even visited the 33 immortal realms again spread rapidly. It's like a bombshell. People were in panic for a while. After all, the demon's whereabouts were strange and hard to guard against, and the demon emperor was extremely powerful. It is almost unrealistic to defeat the demons in a short period of time and force back their invasion. Not to mention that the 33 immortal realms are vast, which is both an advantage and a disadvantage. It is easy for them to become a loose sand and be conquered one by one. The consequences would be unimaginable. The various powerful immortal emperors were each guarding one side, and their expressions became solemn. The thing they worried about most happened, but they knew clearly that the demon emperor was not the most difficult to deal with. At least the demon emperor's appearance would not cause him to be completely out of control, and they could deal with it even at a small cost. What really frightened them was the sudden appearance of the Eternal Day Demon. If the Eternal Day Demon attacks, it will be difficult for them to stop him. And now, with wars raging everywhere, it's still unknown whether the Eternal Day Demon will appear again. Anyway, the Demon Emperor got carried away first. At one time, all the giants appeared, releasing endless perception and seeing through everything. The purpose is naturally to find the Demon Emperor as quickly as possible. Only by suppressing the Demon Emperor or even killing him can everything be ended. Otherwise, it will just be a temporary rest. As for what the Eternal Day Demon was thinking, they didn't know, and it was impossible for them to predict it. Southern Heaven Fairyland, Qingshuan Taoist sect. The last time the demons invaded, the sect suffered heavy losses, and the invasion only ended when the demons retreated. I didn't expect that this time it would come again. The sect disciples set up formations to stop the demons. A huge battlefield has formed around the sect. The demons are still ruthless. It is said that the demon emperor has escaped the seal and has returned to the immortal realm. This invasion of the immortal realm will definitely not be easy. This made them feel uneasy. No matter what, he was the demon emperor who was sealed by the eternal night immortal emperor. Although the immortal emperor eternal night is not in their Qingshuan Dao sect now, they are still connected after all. If the demon emperor vents his hatred on them, it will be difficult for them to stop him. After all, the demon emperor probably knew that he was no match for the eternal night immortal emperor, so he wouldn't be stupid enough to directly provoke the eternal night immortal emperor. In the crowd, Mo Kingru's expression was also unhappy. The demon emperor had escaped and once again led the demons to invade the immortal realm. This was not a good thing. It is unknown whether Qingshuan Dao sect can survive this disaster. Soon, Yi Qingshuan appeared. Then wait quietly, because he knew that the demon emperor would definitely come. Perhaps it was because of the Qingshuan Dao sect, or perhaps it was because of Chen Zhenai. It didn't matter anymore. This time the changes were both unexpected and not so unexpected. Compared to this, the Eternal Day Demon that suddenly appeared among the demons is the most worrying. Chapter 184, Qingshuan Dao sect is destroyed. Not long, along with the drastic changes in the sky, demonic energy surged, and a terrifying pressure swept over. Harahaha Yi Qingshuan, we meet again. The expressions of all the Qingshuan Dao sect disciples became completely solemn. The demon emperor is coming. The demon emperor is really here. I wonder if the sect master can withstand such a demon. If we can't hold on, the consequences will be unimaginable. Yi Qingshuan stood with his hands behind his back, looking straight at the sky. Demon Emperor, you are finally here. Then we saw the Demon Emperor condense and take shape from the demonic energy. Yi Qingshuan, let's settle all the new and old grudges together today. The Demon Emperor laughed wildly. Without the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, the Qingshuan Dao sect cannot stop him. Yi Qingshuan felt helpless, as the Demon Emperor still picked on the weak. Demon Emperor Chen Zhenai is no longer in my Qingshuan Dao sect, so why are you doing this? He is no match for the Demon Emperor, but if he fights to the death, the Demon Emperor will have to pay the price, because this is his territory. The Demon Emperor snorted coldly. Don't think you can escape karma by driving away the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. After all, the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor was also trained by your Qingshuan Dao sect. Without him, why would I have been sealed for so many years? Now that he is not here, I wonder who can stop me. The Demon Emperor also got angry. There was no way. He was no match for the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor now, but he couldn't just let it go. It would be embarrassing. He could only do something to show his respect. Yi Qingshuan's pressure was shaking. He is actually at the 7th level of the Immortal Emperor, and the gap in strength between him and the Demon Emperor is quite large. That being said, Chen Junai no longer has any attachment to my Qingshuan Dao sect. Even if you destroy my Qingshuan Dao sect, it won't affect his state of mind. On the contrary, it's more like you're helping him. The Demon Emperor became very angry when Chen Junai was mentioned, let alone helping Chen Junai. But the Eternal Day Demon was standing there, and there was nothing he could do. Yi Qingshuan, there's no need to provoke me with your words. One thing at a time. It is precisely because the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is not here that I can take action without any burden. Afterwards, I will deal with him. Also, don't resist stubbornly. The immortal realm is destined to be no match for my demon clan, ha ha ha. The power of the Demon Emperor shook past. Ordinary cultivators are simply unable to stop it, and will basically die if they come into contact with it. Seeing that the Demon Emperor refused to listen, Yi Qingshuan had no other choice. Go head on. Elders, protect this disciple. I will fight the Demon Emperor, protect my Qingshuan Dao sect. He also knew what the Demon Emperor meant, which was simply the Eternal Day Demon. Formation. Boom, boom, boom. Demon Emperor, even so you can never destroy my Qingshuan Dao sect. Seeing the sect master and the Demon Emperor fighting, many elders looked extremely ugly and quickly retreated. But it's too late to say anything now. There is no choice. All disciples, listen up. Fight back the demons and protect our Qingshuan Dao sect. The war begins. The immortal emperor fought with all his might, showing extraordinary power. The imperial palace of Jidao, noticing that the celestial phenomena in the southern sky fairyland had undergone tremendous changes, Leng Jiushuang's expression became solemn. The demon emperor still refuses to give up and goes to the Qingshuan Dao sect. Needless to say, it must have something to do with Chen Junai. However, Yi Qingshuan's calculations were wrong. Because Chen Junai is more powerful, the Demon Emperor obviously doesn't know how to attack him, but he doesn't want to let it go, so he can only find a soft persimmon to squeeze, which can also be regarded as saving the Demon Emperor's face. The Qingshuan Dao sect tried to escape cause and effect and protect itself, but in the end it still couldn't escape. But in this case, the one who suffered would still be Qingshuan Dao sect. If the immortal Emperor Eternal Night had not dissipated all his cultivation, I'm afraid this scene wouldn't have happened. Leng Jiushuang sighed. That's how fate plays tricks on us. It doesn't matter who is right or wrong. What matters is the result. Although Qingshuan Dao sect has a geographical advantage, it will not be easy to stop the Demon Emperor. Then the Demon Emperor's next target must be my Jidao Imperial Palace. Leng Jiushuang pondered for a moment. This is not difficult to guess. After all, Chen Junai is also the son-in-law of their Jidao Imperial Palace. From the beginning, she had no choice. After all, the couple had already had a child. She also promised Chen Junai that she would bear the consequences of this. Of course, there is another important factor. Whether the Demon Emperor dares to come to the Extreme Dao Palace depends on his courage and the Eternal Day Demon. Otherwise, it would be a waste of time to come here, and you may even get beaten. Therefore, the attitude of the Eternal Day Demon is crucial. We must guard against the Eternal Day Demon. Leng Jiushuang had no intention of supporting Qingshuan Taoist sect to fight against the Demon Emperor. After all, even the Jidao Imperial Palace could hardly bear the consequences of the Great Buddha, the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. They are in crisis themselves, so how can they care about others? I just don't know how Qingsu is doing. It's been a while now. I wonder if Su Qingsu is reliable. Has she found the couple? What do the couple want to do? Leng Jiushuang was a little anxious. The fairy world is in great chaos. Many days later, a piece of news shocked everyone. The Qingshuan Dao sect in the southern heavenly immortal realm was destroyed by the demons, becoming the first top-level immortal sect to suffer such a miserable fate. It is said that the sect leader Yi Qingshuan personally fought against the Demon Emperor and did not hesitate to use countless means, using the power of the sect to resist and consuming the sect's luck in the battle. But in the end, he still failed to stop the Demon Emperor. The battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights, and by the time the powerful warriors from the immortal realm arrived, it was too late. The whereabouts of sect leader Yi Qingshuan is unknown. Countless powerful disciples of the sect were killed or injured, suffering heavy losses, and the rest fled in all directions, which was a pity. When the cultivators from all over the fairyland heard the news, they were also quite sad. After all, no matter what, it was the demons who came to cause trouble. But everyone knows that the Qingshuan Dao sect suffered so quickly because of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. After all, the immortal Emperor Yang'ai and Qingshuan Dao sect had a close relationship in the past. Even though the immortal Emperor Yang'ai has now been expelled from Qingshuan Dao sect, this is a fact that cannot be changed. The Demon Emperor obviously knew that he was no match for the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor, so he picked on the weak ones. Otherwise, the Demon Emperor should hate the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor even more, and his first goal should be to seek revenge on the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor. Likewise, they did not believe that the Demon Emperor intended to use the Qingshuan Dao sect to force out the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor. After all, the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor has changed a lot now. He has long since stopped caring about worldly affairs and has never appeared in public. The Demon Emperor must be aware of this. And even if he could force out the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor, would the Demon Emperor still be his opponent? The Demon Emperor was no fool. If the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night was still guarding the Qingshuan Dao sect, I'm afraid none of this would have happened. It can be imagined that if the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor had not been expelled from the sect, it would be impossible for even the Demon Emperor to take revenge. The Qingshuan Dao sect will only become stronger, not weaker, not to mention being in such a crisis. What a shame, it's all my own fault. That's right, he should bear the consequences. But now, the relationship between the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor and the Extreme Dao Imperial Palace is quite good. For a moment, all eyes were on Jidao Emperor Palace again. I wonder if the Demon Emperor has the courage to destroy the Jidao Imperial Palace. It's unlikely. After all, the Eternal Knight Emperor isn't just a decoration, he's more like a deterrent. Chapter 185, listen to my orders. Don't provoke the Jidao Imperial Palace. The Qingshuan Taoist sect was destroyed and suffered heavy losses. Yi Qingshuan's whereabouts were also unknown, which made the other giants in the fairyland look unhappy. The demons invaded the 33 fairy realms and jumped back and forth. This was a blatant slap in the face. However, they had to take care of their own territory and had to be wary of the Eternal Day Demon. So even though they were extremely powerful when united, they were like a pile of loose sand in such a situation. This feeling is extremely uncomfortable. The Demon Emperor must be quickly suppressed to put an end to everything. And that presupposes that the Eternal Day Demon does not show up. But no one knows where the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night has gone. There is no trace of him, and there is no leader strong enough to fight against the Demon of Eternal Day. It is really worrying. Otherwise, if they join forces, it will only backfire. Who knows if it will force the Eternal Daytime Demon to appear earlier. It will be difficult for them to clean up the mess then. The only good news is that there is still no trace of the Eternal Day Demon. I don't know whether to cry or laugh. Now that the Demon Emperor has destroyed the Qingshuan Taoist sect, he just wants to vent his anger. Then the next target of the Demon Clan is very likely to be the Jidao Imperial Palace. After all, the Jidao Imperial Palace is tainted by the karma of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. If the Demon Emperor dared to go to the Jidao Emperor Palace, it would mean that the Eternal Day Demon would definitely appear, which would give the Demon Emperor the confidence to fight against the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Otherwise, they did not think that the Demon Emperor would be so stupid. So now they hope that the demons will not go to the Jidao Imperial Palace. But in this case, if we don't go to the Jidao Imperial Palace, isn't it possible to go to the Immortal Realm where they are? That is also difficult for them to accept. Split. Somewhere, the Demon Emperor destroyed the Qingshuan Dao sect, and the Demon Clan's momentum soared. The Demon Emperor was also very happy and comfortable. Otherwise, you will suffer setbacks. Ha, Qingshuan Dao sect is so stupid. If the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night were here, I wouldn't be able to touch them. He probably knew that it was because the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor's cultivation had dissipated, and the Qingshuan Taoist sect expelled him from the sect in order to dilute the cause and effect, and because the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor was not valuable enough. But who could have predicted that the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night would suddenly become even stronger? In this case, Qingshuan Dao sect's calculations were wrong, and everything was lost. Don't blame others. As a result, he couldn't carry out his small goal of revenge at all. He couldn't find the real culprit and couldn't defeat him. He could only cause trouble for Qingshuan Dao sect to calm his anger. It has come to this, and the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night has not shown up. It seems that it is just as Yi Qingshuan said. The Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night no longer cares about the life and death of the Qingshuan Dao sect. The Demon Emperor breathed a sigh of relief. Otherwise, if the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor really ran out, then he wouldn't know what to do. But in doing so, he not only vented his anger, but also vented the anger of the eternal night immortal emperor. This made him feel even more uncomfortable. Humph, he got a bargain. But this feels like a civil war in the immortal realm. The demon emperor was faintly excited. Generally speaking, a powerful immortal emperor cannot influence anything, so it cannot be considered as civil strife in the immortal realm. However, if the immortal emperor of eternal night is powerful enough, then it can be considered as civil strife. Because if the eternal night immortal emperor really appears, he can indeed influence a lot. The civil unrest in the immortal realm means a godsend opportunity for the demon clan. How can we not catch it? For the sake of the greater good, what does personal grudge matter? The demon emperor could only comfort himself in this way. While the immortal emperor of eternal night does not appear, the most important thing is to take over all the major immortal realms. By the time the immortal emperor of eternal night appears, it will be too late, because the demon of eternal day will also appear by then. Follow my orders, don't provoke the Jidao Imperial Palace. Since we can't directly provoke the eternal night immortal emperor, let's ignore the matter of revenge and achieve the demon clan's goal first. But it will definitely not be easy to take over the major fairy realms. It is just that the risk is slightly smaller than offending the Jidao Imperial Palace. This is also a test. After all, the eternal night immortal emperor is unhappy with the Qingshuan Taoist sect and will not show up. What about other immortal realms? This is still unknown. Take it one step at a time. If they can really achieve their small goal as a demon clan, then they can just focus on dealing with the Jidao Imperial Palace in the end, which will be much easier. When the demon emperor was causing trouble, the eternal day demon in the demonic abyss was looking into the distance. Haven't you appeared yet? She didn't bother to care what the demon emperor wanted to do. She only cared about her own goals. And here, finally, there was someone who interested her. But in the end, the other person didn't show up, which was really boring. Since the immortal emperor of eternal night will not appear easily, she has no interest in causing trouble. But she knew in her heart that the immortal emperor of eternal night was somewhere, and should have known of her existence. In this case, the eternal night immortal emperor will appear one day. I don't believe that he has no interest in a strong man of the same level. The Jidao Imperial Palace. At the same time, she also figured out some things. It is said that the immortal emperor of eternal night has a close relationship with the Jidao Imperial Palace, and he and the female immortal emperor of the Jidao Imperial Palace seem to be a Taoist partner. In this case, if they want to attack the Jidao Imperial Palace, perhaps the eternal night immortal emperor will have to appear. But she was not in a hurry. Although she was confident in her own strength, she was not clear about the background of the eternal night immortal emperor. After all, they were both powerful people of the same level, and she did not think that she was absolutely invincible. She had to be on guard, otherwise it would only backfire and even bring her endless troubles and affect her plans, which would not be worth it. This was also the reason why she agreed with the opinions of the demon emperor's traitorous subordinates. The most appropriate method is to take advantage of the barriers between the fairy realms and make the eternal night fairy emperor surrender. Maybe it won't take long. The eternal day demon naturally has his own means and confidence to take down the eternal night immortal emperor. Just because she came from another world, a wider space that was enough. Ancient continent, pure world valley. Chen Jianai and Zia Jiao came to look for their children. When I arrived, I found a crystal ball floating not far away. They could naturally sense that this crystal ball was a small world. Needless to say, it must have been Su Qingsu who did it. Yuan or Hayar, Zia Jiao's voice penetrated directly into the crystal ball. Soon, the crystal ball emitted a wave of power, and two small, distorted faces and the big eyeballs appeared on its surface. Daddy and Mommy actually found us. We are in the gift given by Aunt Qingsu. It's a small world, Tilda. Afterwards, Su Qingsu appeared with the two children. I don't know whether the two kids are happy or not, but Su Qingsu is quite happy. Jiao Master Chen, why are you disturbing us? Daddy and Mommy, this small world is so beautiful. We like Aunt Qingsu's gift. Chen Ziyuan was very happy because they had been hiding in their little world recently and felt so comfortable. It's also amazing, because they are the only ones in the small world, and the whole world belongs to them. Zia Jiao rubbed the two cubs' heads. Yuan or Hayar, I'm glad you like it, but your Aunt Qingsu is leaving. Leaving? Jiao, I didn't say I was leaving. Su Qingsu's eyes widened. She was leaving, how could she not know? Zia Jiao said speechlessly. The fairy world has changed, you have to go back and report. Besides, do you not care about the Su family anymore? Chapter 186. The two children just left their parents to go into seclusion. After hearing this, Su Kingsu nodded. That's right. It's time to go back and report to the palace master. Zia Jiao has a family, and she herself has her own clan. She feels that the fairy world will not be too peaceful recently, so it is time to leave. Aunt Kingsu, are you leaving? The two little ones raised their heads, they understood. Su Kingsu smiled and rubbed the two children's heads. Ziyuan and Zihao, Auntie is going back to the fairyland. Auntie will wait for you there. It feels like it won't be long before Zia Jiao's cub will be able to ascend. She had to go back and prepare for the reception. After all, there had been a lot of trouble in the fairy world recently. Oh. Then Aunt Kingsu, we will ascend soon. The two little ones have been saying these two words all the time recently. Okay, you guys are the best. Su Kingsu continued reluctantly. Jiao, Master Chen, I'm leaving now. Let's go, be careful on the road. Bye. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao also hurriedly said goodbye. In their opinion, Aunt Kingsu came to see them specially. Otherwise, she wouldn't have stayed with them for so long and ignored her parents. Then Su Kingsu left Jingxi Valley. Chen Zhena and Zia Jia watched quietly. Husband, it seems that our peaceful life will not last long. Zia Jiao snuggled in her husband's arms. They had finally been reunited as a family and were planning to have another baby. Now, if the Jidao Imperial Palace was in trouble, they certainly wouldn't be able to sit idly by. Madam, perhaps the peace you have achieved is something you have fought for yourself. Chen Zhen hugged his wife. There are some changes in the fairy world. Just like before, the difference is that he doesn't want to be disturbed in his family's ordinary life. I don't want to interfere too much. But ultimately, you can't stay out of it, so you can only fight for peace by yourself. But right now, he has to wait for his two children to ascend to heaven. He will always be by their side and doesn't want to miss it. Zia Jiao naturally understood what her husband meant. Solving the problem would naturally bring peace. Just be careful to prevent other accidents from happening when solving the problem. Zia Jiao couldn't help but hug Chen Zhenai tighter, saying nothing more. She was afraid that what happened to her husband back then would happen again. Plus, they now have a pair of children and a baby in the womb. If it's true, then she absolutely cannot accept it. Chen Zhenai felt his wife's thoughts and understood her worries. He touched Zia Jiao's face and said with a smile, "Don't worry, madam, don't you know? If a man has his beloved wife, his most beloved children, and a new life behind him, then he will be invincible." Her husband's tone was very calm, but Zia Jiao could hear an unstoppable will in it. Husband, can we be selfish? In fact, she didn't dare to gamble, not because she didn't want to. Chen Zhenai comforted her. Madam, that was the promise I made to Palace Master Leng, and I will keep it. If the Jidao Imperial Palace is in trouble, I will not ignore it. But it hasn't come to that yet, don't worry. Zia Jiao hummed softly. This is too difficult. I don't want my husband to take risks, but I can't ignore the fairyland because the Jidao Imperial Palace is in the fairyland. They wish they were selfish, but it is impossible for them to be selfish. I just hope that the mysterious Eternal Day demon won't harm the Jidao Imperial Palace. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao raised their heads and opened their eyes wide to see their father and mother hugging each other and forgetting about them. They obviously didn't understand the seriousness of the matter. I don't know what my parents are talking about. They look very serious. Their little faces also became serious, and they all held their father and mother's hands. Don't worry, Daddy and Mommy. Daddy and Mommy, we will try our best. We can definitely ascend. Then I'll be able to protect my parents. Chen Zhenai and Zia Jiao looked down at their children and felt much more relaxed. Then they squatted down and the family hugged each other, which was particularly warm. You and her Hayar, Daddy and Mommy are not worried. Daddy and Mommy believe in you. The couple are very clear that with their two children standing behind them, they will always be invincible parents. There is no second possibility. Okay, Daddy and Mommy, let's go into seclusion. While speaking, the two little ones held each other's hands. Make your attitude clear and take action. As for what seclusion is, and what they do specifically, I don't know, but it sounds like it can make them stronger. Retreat. Chen Zhenai chuckled. This was the first time he saw his children in seclusion. You and her Hayar, Daddy and Mommy support your retreat, but do you need their help? If their children went out to play without telling them, they would be so amused that they would die. Zia Jiao smiled and covered her mouth with her hands, saying softly, That's right, you and her Hayar, retreat is not just talk. It won't be easy to gain anything. If you retreat improperly, it will be a waste of time. The two little ones didn't understand, but they have already decided. It's okay, it's okay. Daddy and Mommy, we can retreat on our own. That's right, we are all about to ascend to heaven. We are grown up now and have to take care of our own affairs. Don't mention how serious he is. This makes parents feel helpless. Is it reliable? If something unexpected happens, it will be terrible. But since their children are so serious, they, as parents, don't want to interfere too much. Zia Jiao said reluctantly. You and her Hayar, if you want to go into seclusion, you won't be able to see your parents for a while. The two little ones also became reluctant to leave and felt conflicted. He quickly kissed his father and mother. Daddy and Mommy, it's okay, we'll be out soon. Yes, just like when Daddy and Mommy were gone, we can still take care of ourselves. Then while we are in seclusion, Daddy and Mommy must take good care of themselves. The meaning is different. They are all experienced people, so it's not a big problem. Well, he even educated them. Chen Junai and Zia Jiao also kissed their children. Their children are about to abandon them and go into seclusion, crying themselves to death. Then they were forced to spend their time alone in tears. You and her Hayar, Daddy and Mommy will take good care of themselves. Just rest assured and retreat. You and her Hayar, Daddy and Mommy will definitely not let you worry, don't worry. Okay, the two little ones felt relieved when they heard this. He touched his mother's head and hair, and then touched his father's face to comfort him. Daddy and Mommy, let's go get ready. Then he ran away and prepared to go into seclusion. It's so busy that I can't stop. After preparing for a long time, the two little ones were finally satisfied. With a lot of resources and delicious food, they prepared for several years. Daddy and Mommy, we are going to the Tao Ancestors' retreat. Daddy and Mommy, let's go. They have to explain to the sect first. Chen Junai and Zia Jiao watched their stubborn children leave and smiled at each other. It's a good thing that my children work so hard. As parents, they just need to protect their children with peace of mind. Just look at how much resources my children have prepared, almost stripping the pure world valley bare. They've also prepared a lot of food. It always feels like they locked themselves up and went to lie down and enjoy themselves. No, they can't think like that. You should trust your children. Chapter 187. What is the purpose of retreat? Soon after Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao finished their search in Jingxi Valley and told their parents, they arrived at the great Tao ancestor. Then he summoned the elders and disciples and gave them instructions. Seriously, it really seems to be the case. Not long after, the two little ones finished their instructions and finally went into seclusion, leaving behind a group of people staring at each other. Retreat. After the 3-year-old sect leader held a meeting with them, he actually went into seclusion. Although the sect leader was very serious, they wanted to laugh, but they couldn't. Ahem tilde. The divine martial emperor said solemnly, the young sect leader is in seclusion. It seems that the responsibility of defending the sect falls on us. The Sun and Moon Emperor nodded in approval. Indeed, during the time that the young sect master is in seclusion, the sect must not allow any mistakes to occur. They are extremely serious about guarding the ancestors of the avenue. Changjeng Sword Emperor stepped forward again. If that's the case, then we should do something too. They actually wanted to go into seclusion as well. After all, the resources of the Grand Tao ancestor would be of great help to them. But since the junior sect master had gone into seclusion first, they would definitely have to step back. Otherwise, no one will come to guard the sect. Chu Ziu Chen Yun. Disciple is here. Chu Ziu, Chen Yun, and the others were also confused. The young sect leader actually abandoned them and went into seclusion. They are all so strong, even harder than them. He's only 3 years old, there's no need to work so hard. Li Maiajan and Gong Luoyu were also confused. It's obvious that the two kids want to leave them behind to ascend. I'm so sad. It's their own fault for being so bad. Changjeng Sword Emperor continued. Spread the word. The three of us, the ancestors guarding the great Tao, are gathering the geniuses of the ancient continent to gather in Dongzhu. If there are qualified people, they can not only become the disciples of the great Tao ancestor, but also become our direct disciples. There's nothing we can do. The two kids are unwilling to inherit his legacy. He's already old, so why not find someone else? By the way, it will also allow the great Tao ancestor to attract talents from the entire continent and strengthen the great Tao ancestor. Neither the Shenwu Emperor nor the Sun and Moon Emperor refused. With their strength, it is not too difficult to make the great Tao ancestor famous in the ancient continent in a short period of time. It can also be regarded as a surprise to the two small sect masters, as long as they are happy. Of course, the young master's parents are watching there, and it would be inappropriate for them to just enjoy the resources without doing anything. Let's play together. Yes, Chu Ziu and Qin Yun were shocked, their eyes becoming hot. It's obvious that the elders want to make a big move, recruiting talents for the sect. You can also imagine that once the news is released, it will definitely shock the entire ancient continent. Then their ancestor of the Great Tao will also become famous far and wide. It will definitely be able to recruit countless talents and strengthen the sect. At the same time, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao went into seclusion to stabilize their emotions. Found a quiet place. It is also a feng shui treasure land. There are mountains and water here, as well as food and drink, and no one to disturb them. It is a great place for them to retreat. Both little ones were very satisfied. Zio Hao, let's start our retreat. Chen Ziyuan's face was serious. Chen Zihao naturally didn't dare to smile. Okay, Sister Tilda. They will never let their parents down. Then take out a bunch of resource food and place them around to surround them. This is more convenient. Then he sat cross-legged on the ground in an official manner. It was quiet for a while. Sister, what are you doing in seclusion? Chen Zihao asked in confusion. Chen Ziyuan tilted his head and pondered for a moment. Zio Hao, the purpose of retreat is to improve your strength. I know, but how can my sister improve her strength? Chen Zihao was a little troubled. They haven't improved their strength much. Their previous breakthroughs were natural. This is the first time they have come into seclusion specifically to improve their strength, so they don't have much experience. Tilda, Chen Ziyuan was also stunned by the question. But as a sister, I have to stand up. Zio Hao, let's eat. Eating more will definitely help us. Maybe it will improve our strength. That's right, sister is so smart. Chen Zihao must have agreed very much. Then the two little ones started eating, looking very happy. So sweet, Tilda. It smells good too. I didn't feel bad at all. I just stuffed it into my mouth. After eating for a while, they suddenly realized that something was wrong. Sister, we can eat outside. There's no need to retreat here specially to eat. Chen Zihao successfully discovered this unnecessary thing. Chen Ziyuan was in trouble again. That's right. Then I thought about my pretty sister and the others. They all knew how to use swords and various spiritual weapons, but they seem to have never used them before. Zio Hao, let's learn swordsmanship. And Daddy's technique. Chen Zihao's eyes lit up. That's right, sister. We don't necessarily have to improve our cultivation to become stronger. Improving our skills and combat capabilities is also good. That's right, it's amazing to be able to cultivate sword intent, and also the understanding of the great Tao of heaven and earth. As for what the sword intent is, what the great way of heaven and earth is, and why they can comprehend it, they are not quite clear. But Daddy and Mommy mentioned it to them, which means this thing is very powerful. As long as they study hard, they will definitely gain something, and then they will know what it is. Thinking of this, Chen Zihao excitedly took out a sword from behind his butt. Boom! With a casual throw, the earth shook and it landed not far from them, releasing terrifying power. Sister, but this sword is taller than all of us. He scratched his head. What should we do? I don't know if they are holding the sword, or the sword is holding them. Oh, that's right. Chen Ziyuan also took out a sword and fell into deep thought. Then the two little ones and the two swords stared at each other. Because the two swords are also helpless. Both sides were embarrassed. Zio Hao, everything is difficult at the beginning. Let's get used to it first. Chen Ziyuan said, staring at the two swords. Baojian, can you guys become smaller? It doesn't matter if you can't hold it, just make the sword smaller. All right. In a flash, both swords shrank, looking as if they were tailor-made for the two children. It's somewhat similar to a dagger. If you don't know, you might think the two kids are going to cut watermelon. Chen Zihao's eyes lit up. Sister, this is appropriate. That's right. The two little ones became excited, and each held a handful. They can also fly with swords, but they rarely use swords in this way. Zio Hao, let's get started. Okay, sister. Time passes slowly. In the ancient continent, the emergence of a piece of news shocked everyone. At first it was only in Dongzhou, but soon spread to everywhere. All the top forces in Dongzhou were trembling in fear. I wonder what the two little ancestors of the great Tao are doing. It is said that Changzheng Sword Emperor, Shenwu Emperor, Sun and Moon Emperor are all elders in their great Tao ancestor. Are you kidding? 3 powerful emperors. He was also a top-tier great emperor. Among the great emperors, he was a terrifying existence that was worthy of being ranked among the most powerful. Chapter 188, Sir. If the great Tao ancestor really had 3 powerful emperors in charge, plus 2 little emperor ancestors and their fathers and mothers, then they could basically only lie cross-legged. The powerful people from the top forces in Dongzhou couldn't sleep. They couldn't sleep at all. The pressure is enormous. The fact that the great Tao ancestor openly recruited disciples was tantamount to intimidating them from the side. It can also be imagined that the great Tao ancestor is likely to be the only one in power in Dongzhou, above all other forces. No, even in the entire ancient continent, I am afraid that no force dares to provoke him. The ancient country of Shanghai was also frightened and broke out in a cold sweat. Ever since Mingyu was wiped out last time, although they were wary of the existence that the 9 holy temples feared, they also roughly understood it. It's because of the 2 kids, the young master of the great Tao ancestor. Fortunately, they were smart. Otherwise, the 2 seemingly harmless kids might have killed them. The cultivators from other major regions have also heard of the name of the ancestor of Dongzhou Avenue. They were indeed confused. This sect is truly unique. However, people were quite surprised to hear that the great Tao ancestor had a powerful emperor in charge. After all, the resources in a place like Dongzhou are not very good, and I didn't expect that an imperial-level force would appear. I also heard that Changjiang Sword Emperor, Shenwu Emperor, Sun and Moon Emperor. These rumored emperors ran off to the great Tao ancestor. I was even more shocked. After all, top emperors also have their own pride. In order to pursue a certain realm, they generally will not guard a certain force at will. As a result, the ancestor of the great Tao gathered 3 giant Buddhas at one time. Is that normal? For a time, many geniuses from all over the continent gathered in Dongzhou. In addition to the cultivators who came here because of the fame, some also wanted to join in the fun and see who the ancestor of the unique imperial power in Dongzhou was. If it is true as the rumors say, then this ancestor of the great Tao must be famous throughout history. Zhangzhou, ancestor of the great Tao, isn't that Ziyuan and Zihao's territory? Yifu, Murongzu, and the others exclaimed. Indeed, Changjiang Sword Emperor Shenwu Great Emperor is also here. There can't be any mistake. It seems that Ziyuan and Zihao want their sect to be famous throughout the ancient times. Otherwise, they wouldn't recruit disciples in the name of the 3 great emperors. While these 2 kids are so young but they have such lofty ambitions, I'm impressed. I just didn't expect that the rumored Sun and Moon emperors were all in the Tao ancestor. I thought such a powerful person had already ascended. Then we should go and take a look. They plan to join in the fun. After all, they have also taken care of children. Taiwang Holy Land. The great Tao ancestor, Zhanggu frowned. The Grand Saint Lord beside him glanced over and asked, "Is there any problem?" Zhanggu shook his head. "Master, I've never heard of the great Tao ancestor, but before, Changjiang Sword Emperor and Divine Martial Emperor left with the 2 children. If nothing unexpected happens, it might be this great Tao ancestor. I didn't expect them to be in Dongzhou, not Zhangzhou." I see, the great lord of the wilderness had no idea. Those 2 children are the bloodline of the eternal Night Emperor, so they must not be provoked. But since the great Tao ancestor has made such a big fuss, we should go and pay him a visit. It just so happens that the immortal messenger from before seemed quite interested in the affairs of the eternal Night Emperor. We might be able to gain something if we go and take a look. They have no other intentions, they are just simply curious. After all, there is no grudge between them and the great Tao ancestor, and the 3 powerful emperors. At the same time, Pyomil Palace also had the same idea. In addition, there are other major top forces. After all, this unknown ancestor of the great Tao suddenly appeared, obviously wanting to become famous in the ancient times, so they should indeed join in the fun. Find out the other party's background, see whether it is true or false, and what is the origin of the ancestor of the great Tao that can make the 3 great emperors surrender. Somewhere in the ancient continent, this is an extremely dangerous place. Changjiang Sword Emperor. A hoarse voice came out. You finally showed up, still with some passion. He was obviously a formidable and powerful person who had some grudge against the Sword Emperor Changjiang. You will definitely die this time? The corpse ancestor's tone was full of resentment. He and Changjiang Sword Emperor were fellow disciples. But the fact that he was now like this was also due to Changjiang Sword Emperor's contribution. The ancestor of the great Tao, who is he exactly? Shenwu Sun and Moon are here too, so there's some trouble. The corpse ancestor fell into anxiety, as if thinking about how to deal with the situation. The far north, the snow barbarians are a powerful race here. They are naturally good at ice and snow, and every member of the tribe is relatively large in size. Similarly, they are also the overlords here. The unique ruler, the imperial family. The great Emperor Shenwu. Back then, you descended into the far north and seized the opportunity of my snow barbarians. It's time to settle this karma. Dongzhu, who is the ancestor of the great Tao? How could the divine martial emperor be willing to guard the land? I didn't expect that Chang Zheng Sword Emperor and Sun and Moon Emperor are here. This trip seems to be troublesome. No matter what, we must get an explanation. On the edge of the ancient continent, on a sea of stars, this is not land but a vast ocean. A terrifying creature emerged from the sea. Sun and Moon Emperor, I didn't expect you haven't ascended yet. That's perfect. Let's settle the score for the past offense against my sea clan. The Star Sea Emperor looked into the distance. That is the direction of Dongzhu, the ancestor of the great Tao. HMPH, what does Chang Zheng's divine might mean? He can't stop me. The endless ocean surged, forming a whirlpool and then swept upwards, and many dragon-like water columns appeared with tremendous power. Soon the entire Dongzhu became lively. Fairyland. Su Kingsu returned to the Jidao Imperial Palace, but encountered some troublesome demons on the way, which delayed her for a long time. Fortunately, there was no danger, and we managed to fight our way out. Palace Master. He breathed a sigh of relief after discovering that the Jidao Imperial Palace seemed to be fine. Kingsu, how is it? Leng Jiushuang asked expectantly. Su Kingsu gathered her thoughts. I found Jiao and young Master Chen. They said the Jidao Imperial Palace is in trouble and they will definitely come back to help. But they are currently worried about Ziyuan and Zihao's ascension. That's good. Leng Jiushuang felt that the couple was really free. But Ziyuan and Zihao are going to ascend. Su Kingsu nodded. Indeed, Ziyuan and Zihao have already reached the peak of the Great Emperor realm. If they take one more step forward, they will trigger the Nirvana Tribulation and ascend to the immortal realm. Before that, I'm afraid Jiao and Master Chen will not easily return. The couple is busy taking care of the baby. I see. Leng Jiushuang could understand. After all, the two children were still so young. It was a big deal for them to ascend to heaven, and it was indeed something to worry about. Then we should try to delay the time as much as possible, and also prepare to pick up the guide Yuan Zihao. The two babies are finally coming, which is an unexpected surprise. But the fairy world is a bit chaotic right now, and if the two kids want to ascend, it's really not a very good time. Considering that their parents are backing them up, it should be acceptable. Yes, Palace Master, Su Kingsu nodded. But Palace Master, how is the fairy world doing now? Leng Jiushuang said in silence. Kingshuan Dao sect is already dead in name only. Chapter 189. Go and invite the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Kingshuan Dao sect is gone. Su Kingsu was a little surprised. It seems that Kingshuan Dao sect can't escape after all and can't resist the Demon Emperor. There is no need to guess. It must have been done by the Demon Emperor. Otherwise, other powerful demons would not have been able to break through the Kingshuan Taoist sect so quickly. The Kingshuan Dao sect has brought this upon themselves. Leng Jiushuang didn't feel anything. Besides, the demons are already attacking other immortal realms. It's our Jishin Dao immortal realm that's been relatively peaceful. She's been pretty bored lately. Su Kingsu could probably understand it. Palace Master, what about us? What we should be most wary of is the Eternal Day Demon. As for the Demon Emperor, he is not a big problem. Leng Jiushuang said helplessly. If she wasn't afraid of the Eternal Day Demon, she should really help. Right now, we just need to buy time and wait for Ziyuan and Zihao to ascend, and for Jiao and the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor to return. By then, everything will be solved. Su Kingsu naturally understood that the two children were definitely more important than the fairy world. All they can do now is buy time. As long as the Eternal Day Demon does not come out, it should not be too difficult to hold off the demons for a long time with the power of other fairy realms. Then Palace Master, I'm going back to the Su family. The Su family is not in the Jishiandao immortal realm, which makes her somewhat worried. Go ahead and be careful on the road. Leng Jiushuang didn't say much. In contrast to this, the other fairy realms are extremely busy. Fortunately, they are numerous, and it is their own territory, so they can deal with it well. But this is not a solution. Leng Jiushuang is guarding the Jishiandao immortal realm. It seems that she has a lot of free time. Now there is still no news about the whereabouts of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, which makes them very worried. In order to fight against the invading demons, the major immortal realms gradually began to unite their forces. It will not be easy for the Demon Emperor to achieve his goal, but it is almost impossible for them to truly kill the Demon Emperor. It is like a balance of power, which makes them quite depressed. Therefore, in order to break this balance, Other forces need to emerge. If the demons want to achieve their goal as quickly as possible, they must have the Eternal Day demon appear to suppress the fairyland. If they want to suppress the demons, they need the Jidao Imperial Palace to appear, or rather the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor behind the Jidao Imperial Palace. Otherwise, Leng Jiushuang's arrival will only add strength and will not achieve the effect of turning the tide and controlling everything. Recently, they had a battle with the Demon Emperor and the various Demon Immortal Emperors, but it turned out that neither of them could do anything to the other. Unless they were willing to pay a heavy price, it would be difficult to severely damage each other. The situation has reached a stalemate. Time passes slowly. Suddenly a piece of news came, breaking the silence. After learning that the immortal Emperor Eternal Night was very likely in the lower world, the giants from all sides finally saw hope. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night has gone to the lower realm. Are you serious? It should be true. According to the news from the immortal envoys we sent out, it seems that there have been traces of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor in the ancient continent. That's a restricted area, right? It should have been left behind by the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, and the voice of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor appeared in that restricted area. It seems that it was not his will, but his true self. In order to find the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, they did not rely solely on Leng Jiushuang. They were also working hard on their own. So some immortal messengers were sent to the underworld with hidden identities. Unexpectedly, there were clues coming. But why did the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor go to the lower world? This left them confused. It is said that the two children may be the descendants of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. That is why we can be sure that the Forbidden Area is not the will of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Child, not only did the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor recover his cultivation, he even had a baby. Did he go to the underworld specifically to take care of the baby? Why bother? I can bring it to the fairyland too. No matter what, now that the Qingshuan Dao sect has been breached, we must invite the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor back to guard the immortal realm. But would the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night be willing? It looks like they are accompanying their own children. Is it possible to take care of children in the fairyland? We will take care of his little ancestor. You keep an eye on the demons. I'll take people to the lower realm to invite the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor back. Good. The decision was made happily, and whether the deadlock could be broken depended on this trip. Soon, a powerful man named Guxiao, Immortal Emperor, brought thousands of immortals to invite Chen Zhanai. He is the leader of the ancient sky immortal realm and has connections with the Su family. I hope this will be useful. Ancient continent, the ancestor of the great Tao, has become completely lively. Countless monks stop to watch. Right before our eyes is the legendary and mysterious ancestor of the great Tao. I wonder who the leader of this great Tao sect is. It's so powerful. You can tell at first glance that this is not the work of an ordinary person. This made them even more curious about the powerful founder of the Tao sect. Everyone was speculating. I guess the leader of this Tao ancestor sect is a mysterious independent cultivator, and he is extremely powerful. That makes sense. He must be a highly respected elder, otherwise how could he be supported by three great emperors? That's right, but I don't know which senior it is. Could it be one of those ancient emperors who disappeared into history? Thinking of this, they were all shocked. Only in this way can the three top emperors be brought together. But I heard you all came from somewhere else, right? I'm a local, and let me tell you, the leader of the Daozu sect is two 3-year-old children. What, a 3-year-old? In a blink of an eye, he became stunned. Are you kidding me? Could it be that they were fooled? Are you stupid? I might as well tell you again, the young master of the Tao ancestor sect is actually two great emperors. What, a 3-year-old emperor? My head started buzzing. Why does it all sound and look so wrong? Yi Fu and the others were also squeezed in the crowd. Wow, Ziyuan and Zihao's sect is really impressive. I didn't expect that what the two kids said was actually true. There really is such a sect. However, given the current situation, it may not be easy for them to see the two children, because many powerful emperors from the ancient continent appeared. The Holy Lord of Taehuang, the Lord of Pyao Palace, and others were also there. There are also powerful races and families from other regions, etc. Qin Tiandao and all the top forces in Dongzhou also came to join in the fun, and were stunned when they saw the scene. Is this the appeal of the three great emperors? It's so terrifying. They knew very well that most of the cultivators came for the three great emperors, not the great Tao ancestor. After all, the ancestor of the great Tao is not very famous, at least for now. Chu Ziu, Qin Yun, and a group of Daozu disciples were dumbfounded. Is this the kind of scene they can expect to see? The three elders are so terrifying. Let me spread the news that so many geniuses have come, and even some of the most powerful people from the top forces in the ancient continent. I can't recognize it, but it feels scary. Not long. There was a fluctuation of power above the great Tao ancestor. Three huge phantoms appeared. That is the imperial power. Everyone, my ancestor, is recruiting disciples. Why are you here to join in the fun? It refers to those powerful emperors who have nothing to do. Chapter 190, our sect leader went into retreat. Look, it's really the Chang Sword Emperor, the divine martial emperor, the Sun and Moon Emperor. Many monks exclaimed in surprise when they saw this scene. It turns out they were not fooled. It's true. Of course, most of them have never seen these three emperors. But as the rumors said, there are exactly three of them, so they should be these three. I was amazed inside. The powerful people from all the major forces in Dongzhou were all stunned. My dear ancestor, where did these three giant Buddhas come from? There is simply no way to survive. With such strength, it is one of the best in the entire ancient continent, not to mention Dongzhou. After all, the two little ancestors are top-level emperors. The powerful emperors from other forces were not surprised at all, because they had heard about it a long time ago and believed that the gossip was very reliable. The Holy Lord Taehuang laughed heartily. Those three, although it is the Grand Tao ancestor who is recruiting disciples, we are free to come here. We are just here to appreciate the Grand Tao ancestor's style. What the Great Lord said is absolutely true. I just didn't expect the three of you to actually be here. This is quite a surprise to us. Then it is only natural that we should pay a visit. Other powerful emperors spoke up one after another. They just wanted to see the background of the legendary ancestor of the Great Tao, so that they could have some idea of what was going on. Now it seems to be true. With these three still here, none of their forces can be a match for the Great Tao ancestor. He is the leader of the Great Tao ancestor sect. In short, it seems that the ancestors of the Great Tao are no longer hiding. I just wonder if there are any powerful people hiding. The Shenwu Emperor laughed heartily. Since you are willing to show your support, then my humble abode is truly honored. There are only a limited number of powerful emperors, so they all know each other, and even if there are some minor conflicts, they will not go to war. This is the situation now, and they also knew very well that these powerful emperors came to see the foundation of their ancestors. After all, the rise of an emperor-level force is likely to affect the pattern and balance of the ancient continent. As for the cases where powerful emperors join forces for this purpose, they are relatively rare. But it doesn't matter. They are too lazy to hide now, so what are they afraid of? Then I wonder if your sect's leader could show up and see us, said the Pyo Palace Master. These few of them are the leaders of various major forces. It shouldn't be too much for them to meet the two children of the ancestor of the Great Tao, right? The other cultivators also began to look forward to it. After all, it would be inappropriate for the sect leader not to show up for such a large-scale disciple recruitment. The Sun and Moon Emperor said, "Our young master is in seclusion and cannot show up." She knew that it would be beneficial for the ancestors to befriend some top forces, and it would also be nice to let the two children meet other emperors. But unfortunately, the two children suddenly went into seclusion. Retreat. Two kids actually went into seclusion. This made several powerful emperors look strange, because they knew that the leader of the Tao ancestor sect was a father of two children. They haven't seen it. Now I'm a little curious. I came here but can't see it. In that case, then I've waited for the wrong time. There's nothing we can do. Who knew the two kids would still be in seclusion? This is too much effort. The other cultivators were somewhat disappointed, but there was nothing they could do. The leader of the Tao sect was in seclusion and indeed could not show up, and they had no way of meeting the mysterious Tao sect leader. However, they were not completely without gain. At least they really had these three powerful emperors in charge. For a moment, they became excited again. The great emperor is accepting a disciple. What a rare opportunity. Yi Fu and the other two were a little confused. Ziyuan and Zihao actually went into seclusion. Then please do as you please. Chang Sword Emperor ignored the other powerful emperors. After all, they had important things to do. Then the voice resonated out. Today, my great Tao ancestor is recruiting talented disciples. If you pass the sect's assessment, you can become a disciple of our ancestor. In addition, those with outstanding talents can become our personal disciples. The other emperors watched quietly. Maybe the two kids will come out soon. After all, they are in seclusion. It sounds like they are shut away to play by themselves. The bloodline of Emperor Eternal Night. It doesn't matter if I wait. It also concerns the celestial messenger. After all, it seems that there have been a lot of things related to the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor appearing recently. After these words were spoken, many geniuses became even more excited. It's all true. The opportunity to become the Emperor's personal disciple is right in front of you. It should be difficult, though, but I'll give it a try anyway. All of a sudden, they were eager to try it out. Immediately afterwards, the Shenwu Emperor waved his hand and opened up a space. No registration is required. Anyone who enters the assessment space is voluntarily becoming a disciple of my great Tao ancestor. Let's begin. The Sun and Moon Emperor stood guard on one side. In addition to playing with the two kids, they also have to keep an eye on things here to prevent any troublemakers from appearing and causing unnecessary trouble. Chu Ziu, Qin Yun, and others were guarding the entrance to the assessment space. Soon, countless geniuses set a small goal for themselves and then poured into the assessment space. The remaining monks who were watching the fun continued to watch. Let's see what the ancestor of the great Tao can gain. Who else can pass the test of the three emperors? Or maybe there is a peerless genius emerging. The other great emperors sat cross-legged in the void, simply accompanying the three emperors to intimidate others. Of course, whether it would be of any use was unclear. A place quite far away from the ancestor of the great Tao. There are other terrifying beings hidden in the void. Corpse ancestor was somewhat indignant. Chang Zheng is indeed here. He came to check out the situation, and it was confirmed that the Sword Emperor Chang Zheng was right here at the ancestor's house. But the Divine Martial Emperor and the Sun Moon Emperor are really here, so the three of them are in the same sect. That's equivalent to joining forces. If he rashly goes out to fight, he could easily be the one to be killed. After all, the Sun and Moon Emperor is too powerful. Not to mention the powerful emperors from other forces. Who knows if those guys will meddle in other people's business? It seems that we can only wait and see. The corpse ancestor's eyes flashed. It is enough to find the whereabouts of Chang Zheng Sword Emperor. There will always be a chance. When the corpse ancestor was about to disappear, the powerful Snow Barbarian Emperor appeared. Who are you? Why are you so sneaky? The Snow Barbarian tribe leader frowned. The other party really doesn't look like a good person. I wonder what the meaning of hiding here is. On the other hand, he was so upright. He had come to fight the Divine Martial Emperor single-handedly to settle the cause and effect. We must get this back no matter what. Chang Zheng Sword Emperor, Sun and Moon Emperor, stay out of this. The corpse ancestor was stunned for a moment. Then he bared his fangs. So you're the leader of the Snow Barbarians. Could it be that you are here for the great Tao ancestor as well? What does it have to do with you? The Snow Barbarian chief was not surprised that the other party could recognize him. After all, he was so big and very conspicuous. But he knew in his heart that this guy was indeed here for the great Tao ancestor just like him. The corpse ancestor didn't want to say anything more. He just wanted to wait and see what would happen. He was about to hide again, but he found a terrifying aura coming without any concealment. His face changed slightly. The Snow Barbarian tribe leader, standing by, also had a serious expression on his face. And heard, I didn't expect the Snow Barbarian leader would come all the way here. Chapter 191. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is very likely to be in the great Tao ancestor. The Star Sea Emperor appeared. Another look at the corpse ancestor. Who are you? This guy doesn't look like a good person. On the other hand, he himself came to settle accounts with the Sun and Moon Emperor. Corpse ancestor was speechless. Emperor of the Star Sea, the Snow Barbarian tribe leader, was shocked. Has the mysterious existence Xinghai come to the mainland? What's going on? Of course, Emperor Xinghai would not explain and just turned and left. He was simply a little curious after discovering these two people. Now it seems that regardless of their identities, these two people seem to be coming for the ancestor of the great Tao. Of course, it doesn't matter. The Snow Barbarian tribe leader didn't bother to pay attention to the corpse ancestor and hurriedly followed, because it seems that the Star Sea Emperor also came for the great Tao ancestor. He didn't know why, but this made him curious. The corpse ancestor no longer planned to hide. After all, it seems that the Star Sea Emperor and the Snow Barbarian tribe chief are both targeting the great Tao ancestor. Then this is his chance. Follow him as well and see if you can seize the opportunity. Of course, he would not easily reveal his purpose before this. In the Pure Valley, husband, it seems very lively outside. Zia Jiao noticed something. Ever since my children started their own sect, there has been no peace. The sparsely populated Luangu Mountains were frequently roiled, scaring away most of the monsters and beasts in the mountains. Chen Junai smiled and said, "Madam, they are strengthening the great Tao ancestor, so it is normal for it to be a little lively. This is all about the two children and has little to do with them. Unless necessary, they can just stay here for their honeymoon. However, it seems that there are some people with ulterior motives." He naturally noticed something. After all, although he wouldn't interfere too much, he would still be able to see through everything and avoid unnecessary trouble. Zia Jiao nodded, "Indeed. Then I didn't pay much attention to it. It wasn't a big deal. I just don't know how Yuaner and Hayar are doing." Compared to this, she was more worried about her cub. Chen Junai pondered, "Don't worry, ma'am. They won't starve. Just think of it as them going on another long journey." "My husband has a point." Zia Jiao couldn't refute it. "I hope they can gain something from their first retreat. That way they'll truly grow up. I am very pleased as a mother." Then pray inwardly. That's what the lady said. The couple continued to play around. When you feel sleepy, just hold the baby in your belly and take a nap. It's okay for the older ones to leave them behind and go into seclusion. They still have the younger ones. At the same time, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao, who were in seclusion, were extremely busy. Eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, and play when you're free. With each other's company, the days of locking ourselves up won't be too boring and tedious. And after all these days of hard work, they finally reaped some rewards. Sword intent. Rumbled. "Sister, I have comprehended the sword's meaning. Zyro, how I understand it too. Both little ones are very satisfied with themselves. They don't know if this thing is sword intent, but they feel like it is. Then my parents will definitely be very happy. Then let's continue." Okay, this is not enough, because their ultimate goal is to trigger the Nirvana catastrophe by improving their various powers. Ascend to heaven, and in various places of the ancient continent, some idle immortal beings appeared one after another. Led by the immortal Emperor Guxiao, there are more than 1,000 immortals. They were looking for a strong couple with a baby. Now, they were high above, looking down upon the land. Immortal Emperor Gu Zio did not dare to be negligent. After all, he came with a difficult mission. "Everyone, go and look for the whereabouts of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor immediately. Report as soon as you have any news." They didn't dare to release their power, otherwise they were afraid that the ancient continent would be lost. They were also afraid of alarming the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, who would force the couple to run away with their child overnight. "Also, you must not interfere with the lower realms, or you will be wiped out." "Yes." "Wait, remember, don't go home yet. It's important to find the Immortal Emperor Eternal Night first." Immortal Emperor Guxiao did not forget to remind him. "I'm afraid these people won't dare to do their job. After all, there are many immortals who ascended to the fairyland from the ancient continent, leaving behind a lot of cause and effect in this lower world." "Yes." Then thousands of immortals dispersed, sneaking around to find out any traces left by the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. As expected, there is strength in numbers, and their strength is evident. They soon found useful clues. The ancestor of the great Tao. Immortal Emperor Guxia was a little confused, but he felt that it was definitely the ancestor of the great Tao. First, the great Tao ancestor seems to be very famous recently, making a lot of noise, and all powerful beings have heard of him. Secondly, according to gossip, the grand Tao ancestor's patriarchs are 2 3-year-old children, terrifying children. It sounds absurd. They should all be counted as the children of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Thirdly, the 2 kids who had previously troubled the Eternal Night Forbidden Zone and remained unscathed were none other than the 2. Furthermore, their father was the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. They didn't even bother to hide it. They just admitted it. Fourth, the 2 children took away the Changjeng Sword Emperor and the Divine Martial Emperor. Recently, these 2 lower realm emperors appeared among the ancestors of the great Tao. To sum up, we can draw conclusions. Hurry to Dongzhu, the ancestor of the great Tao. Immortal Emperor Gu Zio and his men set off immediately. Of course, they did not alert other powerful people from beginning to end, so they did it without anyone noticing. Time flows slowly. Among the ancestors of the great Tao, the examination for recruiting disciples is still in progress, and it will probably take several days. But at this moment, a terrifying aura came without any concealment. Changjeng Sword Emperor and the other 2 opened their eyes and became more alert. They could sense that the person coming was not friendly and was rather aggressive. Taewang Saint Lord and others also made some discoveries and wondered in their hearts, Which emperor was so ostentatious? Are you here to mess things up? That will be quite exciting. The next moment, a man in a blue robe slowly appeared. Seeing this person, many powerful people were shocked. Xinghai Emperor, isn't the Emperor of the Star Sea guarding the Star Sea? Why did he come all the way to the mainland? And he is the ancestor of the great Tao of Dongzhu. When everyone was wondering, only the Sun and Moon Emperor remained silent. It seems that the information he had exposed was finally discovered by Emperor Xinghai. It turns out to be the Star Sea Emperor. How rare! Taewang Saint Lord and others were puzzled. But something didn't feel right. The Star Sea Emperor is a powerful being at the peak level of the Emperor, and the next step is to ascend. The strength is unfathomable. I wonder why Emperor Xinghai came to my Tao ancestor. Emperor Shenwu's face was slightly solemn. It is definitely not normal to not come to the temple for no reason. Not to mention that a mysterious being like the Star Sea Emperor would show up in person. They suddenly noticed that the Star Sea Emperor's gaze was immediately fixed on the Sun and Moon Emperor. The Star Sea Emperor did not explain further. No need to say more. Then he said calmly, Emperor Sun and Moon, do you still remember me? Chapter 192, Tit for Tat. Swish, swish, swish. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone looked at the Sun and Moon Emperor. The Star Sea Emperor actually came to find the Sun and Moon Emperor. The Sun and Moon Emperor said calmly, the Star Sea Emperor has come all the way here just to ask me about this. Of course not. Why would the Sun and Moon Emperor ask such a question when he already knows the answer? The Star Sea Emperor burst out with pressure. Everyone else's expressions became serious. Although the two of them didn't say anything, their confrontation was obvious. It was obvious that there was some grudge in the past, so the Emperor of the Star Sea came to visit. Changjeng Sword Emperor's eyes flashed. Today is the day when my great Tao ancestor recruits disciples. Is Xinghai Emperor's move to make an enemy of my great Tao ancestor? Emperor Xinghai knew what was going on. It seemed that if he caused trouble for Emperor Sun and Moon, Emperor Changjeng Jiandi and Emperor Shenwu would not sit idly by. Sword Emperor Changjeng has said it before. This is a feud between the Sun and Moon Emperor and has nothing to do with anyone else. If we have no choice, then so what if we become enemies? Show your determination. The other experts were all stunned. It seemed that the Star Sea Emperor didn't know how terrifying the two children of the great Tao ancestor were. Do you want to be beaten up? Does the Emperor of the Star Sea really have the confidence to deal with the great Tao ancestor? The Sun and Moon Emperor snorted coldly. Then you will definitely lose. How shameless! Emperor Xinghai didn't care too much. Even if these three joined forces, it would not be easy to take him down. Then there is no need to be too cautious. Then I will do as you wish. The Sun and Moon Emperor was not panicked at all. This is also the cause and effect of her life, and it is time to resolve it. Seeing that they were about to fight, the others stepped back to avoid being involved. At this time, another powerful aura came rapidly. Also heard, Emperor Shenwu, you are here indeed. It was the chief of the snow barbarians who came with Emperor Xinghai. The strong men were stunned for a moment. Chief of the snow barbarians in the far north. I didn't expect that he would come and join in the fun. Or is it because of the Emperor Shenwu? The Emperor Shenwu's expression froze. It's you. Unexpectedly, in addition to the Star Sea Emperor, the Snow Barbarian Tribe Chief also came to see him. This is troublesome. Are you surprised to see me? The Snow Barbarian's chieftain had a cold expression on his face. But he hadn't expected that the Star Sea Emperor was actually involved with the Sun and Moon Emperor. That would be even better. The Divine Martial Emperor nodded. It's indeed a surprise. Moreover, if you leave the far north, you will be even less of a match for me. HMPH, I don't think so. You were just luckier back then. The Snow Barbarian chieftain did not give in at all. Luck is also part of strength. Then I want to see if you still have that strength now. For a while, they were at loggerheads with each other. The powerful ones wondered if the Tao ancestor could withstand the trouble caused by these two great emperors. After all, they heard that their sect leader was in seclusion, and it was probably difficult for him to come forward to deal with such an unexpected situation. But Changjeng Sword Emperor had a headache. Here comes another one. This is not a good thing. Chief of the Snow Barbarians, the current Emperor Shenwu is the elder of our ancestral clan. This is a reminder, hoping that the Snow Barbarian tribe leader will not cause trouble at this time. Otherwise, the battle between the emperors, coupled with the many talented disciples here, might implicate innocent people. So what? The Snow Barbarian leader didn't care at all. It is indeed difficult for him to deal with it alone, but with the Star Sea Emperor here, there is nothing to be afraid of. This is the grudge between my snow barbarians and the divine martial emperor. If the great Tao ancestor wants to intervene, then I can do nothing about it. HMPH, the snow barbarian tribe leader, will probably be disappointed, the Shenwu emperor said righteously. So what if the Star Sea emperor is here? This is their territory. Just as he finished speaking, a breath of air came again quickly, apparently wanting to chop off the corpse of Chang Zheng Sword Emperor. Junior brother Chang Zheng, you are here indeed. He wanted to ascertain the purpose of the Star Sea Emperor and the Snow Barbarian Tribe Chief, but he didn't expect that these two were really here to cause trouble. So what was he hiding? Although they were unfamiliar with each other, their goals were similar. This meant an opportunity had arrived. God help me. Everyone was numb, another one came. What else is there to say? I'm looking for Chang Zheng Sword Emperor. But what does junior brother mean? On the other hand, Chang Zheng Sword Emperor's expression was completely frozen, filled with endless anger. It's you. How could he not recognize this person? Am I surprised? The corpse ancestor laughed. I didn't expect you to appear here. Even the Emperor of Xinghai was stunned. He frowned. The leader of the Snow Barbarians was also very surprised. This guy actually came to cause trouble for Chang Zheng Sword Emperor. That's a coincidence. I didn't expect you to be alive. Chang Zheng Sword Emperor burst out with pressure. I'm afraid this matter is not over today. The corpse ancestor laughed. You're not dead yet, how can I bear to die? A group of top experts confronted each other. This made the onlookers stop laughing. Are you recruiting disciples? This is an attempt to destroy the ancestors of the Great Tao. It seems that the ancestor of the Great Tao is in big trouble. Retreat, retreat, retreat. You must not get involved in it, otherwise you will get into huge trouble. Qin Tiandao was dumbfounded. Looking at the look on his face, even with his strength, he wouldn't dare to speak loudly here. I hope Ziyuan and Zihao will come out of seclusion. Otherwise, if they lose control, their sect may be destroyed. Thinking that the two kids' parents should be there too. Then forget it, the two kids should just rest and retreat in peace. On the other hand, Yi Fu and the other two were terribly frightened. It seemed that Zai Yuan and Zai Hao's ancestor was in trouble, and it was such a big trouble. I hope the two kids can come out of seclusion soon. Otherwise, this will not end well, and the consequences will be unimaginable. Just when the situation was getting tense, a large group of people appeared in the sky, and they appeared silently. There seemed to be at least 1,000 of them, shining with golden light, with the aura of Tao flowing all over their bodies. This scene suddenly stunned everyone. What's going on? Besides, there are so many of them. Is this ever going to end? After Xinghai Emperor and others noticed it, they subconsciously looked up, somewhat puzzled. Then he became uneasy, and his pupils shrank. So many people, and they all look powerful because some things cannot be hidden. But how could there be so many? There was a storm in my heart. Don't panic. I don't know the other party's purpose. It may not be related to the ancestor of the Great Tao. Maybe he is here to cause trouble for the ancestor of the Great Tao. Chang Zheng Sword Emperor and the other two were also stunned. What day is it today? Why is it so lively? After noticing that there were over 1,000 people, and that they looked quite impressive, everyone's mouth became dry. Is this fatal? Which force can produce so many powerful people? Moreover, he appeared silently, but without any cover, looking extremely arrogant and presumptuous. My heart tightened, and I thought to myself that this was not good. I don't know the other party's purpose, but it may be a big trouble. The immortal Emperor Guxiao brought people to look for him. This is the ancestor of the Tao. It looks a bit lively, but it has nothing to do with them. They will not interfere, and only want to carry out their own small goals. Gu Zhao led the other immortals to pay a visit to the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. Chapter 193,000 Immortals arrive. The immortal Emperor Gu Zhao's mighty voice spread out. The Eternal Night Immortal Emperor is most likely here. He had no idea, but he had to give it a try. And as long as the immortal Emperor Eternal Night is really here, he will definitely hear it. The other immortals also waited silently for a reply. This frightened all the strong men below so much that they didn't care about fighting back. Gu Zhao, all immortals, the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. So much. Is this real? Is this something they can see? For a moment, no one dared to breathe, and there was complete silence. Xinghai Emperor and the others looked grim. Why did they feel something was amiss? What was going on? It looked like the other party had come to pay their respects to the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, but the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. In a place like this, who can give them an explanation? Chang Zheng Jiandi and the others probably understood, because they knew very well that the two children's parents were in the Pure World Valley. But Emperor Yang was an immortal emperor. They didn't know the details, but it sounded terrifying. Moreover, these people came specifically to pay homage to the eternal night immortal emperor. My heart was extremely shocked. The great desolate saint and the others were dumbfounded. They knew that the two children were the descendants of the eternal night emperor. But what did the eternal night immortal emperor mean? Are these immortals? Why are they here to pay their respects to the eternal night emperor? Could it be that the eternal night emperor himself is here? For a moment, my heart was extremely shocked, thinking back to the appearance of the immortal messenger before. There was no response for a long while. Immortal Emperor Gu Zhao still didn't want to give up. Gu Zhao led all the immortals to pay homage to immortal Emperor Yang Yi. Speak again. If there was still no movement, he would have to ask the group of people below. The confused strong men now reacted. So many immortals have descended. It's so terrifying. This is a miracle. Something big must have happened. And he came to see the eternal night immortal emperor. I dare not speak at all. Each one is more honest than the other. Such a miracle is unheard of, and will definitely allow them to brag about it for a long time. But at this moment, another voice was heard. Why did the immortal Emperor Guxiao come? Of course it was Chen Zhanai. The couple was originally watching their children paying homage to their ancestors, wondering whether they needed to intervene, but they didn't expect the excitement to start with them. Then you can't stay out of it, otherwise it will cause a bigger commotion. Upon hearing this, immortal Emperor Gu Zhao was overjoyed. As expected, they had caught him. Eternal Night, immortal Emperor, I have come to invite you to return to the immortal realm. As soon as these words were spoken, the powerful people in the lower realm were extremely shocked. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is really here. Is this the legendary immortal? Why is he here? Confused. Those in the know all know that Emperor Eternal Night ascended to the fairyland and returned again to take care of the baby. And Emperor Eternal Night's current realm should be that of the fairy emperor. They are not quite sure what happened exactly, but it does not affect the shock they feel in their hearts. Moreover, this Gu Zhao is also an immortal emperor. How terrifying. Or is he here to invite the immortal Emperor Yang to return to the immortal realm? It sounds like the immortal realm can't control where the immortal Emperor Yang goes. But then I heard, I don't have such intention, please go back, Chen Zhanai responded. He doesn't have much grudge against other immortal emperors. Some of them were offended when I was looking for my wife. Of course, this also included the ancient sky immortal emperor, but now it seemed that it was not a big deal. But to trick him into going back, to work, the immortal realm was truly ruthless, disregarding the rules and sending so many immortals to overwhelm the situation. It seemed like they were in serious trouble, otherwise it wouldn't be like this. Upon hearing this, immortal Emperor Guxiao became anxious and said unwillingly, Immortal Emperor Yang, the immortal realm is in trouble and needs your presence. Furthermore, the Qingshuan Dao sect has been destroyed, and the whereabouts of its leader are unknown. The eternal day demon has not yet appeared, but the people are in a state of panic. I'm afraid something might happen. I hope immortal Emperor Yang will reconsider. If I fail to complete my small goal, I won't be able to explain to the fairy world when I return. He's under a lot of pressure, too. The powerful people in the lower realm were confused by what they heard, and although they still didn't quite understand, it still didn't affect their inner shock. Listen closely, for this is a godsend opportunity to connect with the immortal world. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so how could you not cherish this kind of gossip and excitement? And it sounded like the ethereal immortal realm was in great trouble. This was why the 1,000 immortals had come all the way to invite the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. How terrifying must that Eternal Night Immortal Emperor be? Unbelievable. But even after all this, the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night still refused. Don't want to go back. Chen Zhanai was silent for a moment. The Qingshuan Dao sect was destroyed. It must have been the demon emperor who took action. The Qingshuan Dao sect was also related to him and was implicated by him, but it didn't matter. He was no longer the immortal emperor of the Qingshuan Dao sect, and the cause and effect had been dissolved. At this time, Zia Jiao spoke, Immortal Emperor Guxiao, please go back. The same thing won't happen a second time. Last time, my husband had an accident in the same way. As his wife, I naturally don't want it to happen again. Immortal Emperor Gu Zhao felt bitter. Sure enough, Zia Jiao was there too. She was here to help take care of the baby. Exquisite immortal emperor? He hesitated to speak. Oh my God, Even the wife of the eternal knight immortal emperor doesn't agree. What should I do? After all, Xia Jiao can represent the Jidao Imperial Palace, and the Jidao Imperial Palace is also in the immortal realm. This is too difficult. Go, everything has its destiny. Chen Zhanai's voice came again. This shocked the immortal Emperor Gu Zhao. They all bowed in the direction of Jingxi Valley and left. Otherwise, it would only backfire. However, the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night said that everything has its own destiny, which means that there is still hope for a turning point. Got it. Just two kids. If the two little ancestors were to ascend to the fairyland, then the Eternal Night Fairy Emperor and the Linglong Fairy Emperor would definitely return to the fairyland as well. The result is the same. So let's pray that the two little ancestors can ascend to heaven as soon as possible. After the immortal Emperor Guxio disappeared with thousands of immortals, the powerful people in the lower realms were unable to recover for a long time. It seems unreal, like a dream. Incredible. The mother of the two children is also an immortal emperor. So many immortals could only return empty-handed. It was unclear what the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor meant. That's all, they can't even touch that level. What they saw and heard today was probably enough to be recorded in history. Everyone's expression was excited and shocked. Then he breathed a sigh of relief. It gave them a scare. Changjang Sword Emperor took a deep breath. After watching the fun, it's time to deal with their own affairs. Everyone, since you want to be the enemy of our great Dao ancestor, then let's fight. The causes and consequences of the past will be resolved this time. The Emperor Shenwu's pressure was shocking. The Sun and Moon Emperor was equally unwilling to be outdone. There's no need for others to interfere, we can handle it ourselves. Everyone handles their own affairs in a reasonable way, and the results depend on their own abilities. The Star Sea Emperor and others were shocked. Chapter 194, locked up for a fight. The crowd watching the excitement hurriedly looked back and forth. Are you still going to fight? Now I feel it is unnecessary. The ancestor of the great Tao is so terrifying. I've never seen anything like this in my life. If the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night were to intervene, then the Emperor of Star Sea and the others would definitely have to reincarnate on the spot. There would be no other possibility. Emperor Xinghai suspects that Emperor Changjang Jiandi and the others are trying to cause trouble. He snorted coldly and turned away without saying a word. The Snow Barbarians' leader and the corpse ancestor were also dumbfounded, but they didn't dare to move. Not to mention that even the Star Sea Emperor was scared. He immediately followed the Star Sea Emperor and fled without caring about cause and effect. It didn't matter if it didn't happen. However, at this moment, a surge of power blocked their way. They find it difficult to leave. His face also changed drastically. Also heard, since you're here, why rush to leave? Why not take this opportunity to resolve the cause and effect between you? It's the voice of the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. Damn it. The next moment, they found themselves in a different space. There's no way to escape. It seems that it is difficult to break this space, even with their strength. Soon after, Changjang Sword Emperor and others also appeared here. They knew that it was the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night who had taken action. Moreover, he had brought them here, obviously not wanting to bring disaster to the ancestors of the great Tao or to harm the innocent. Emperor Xinghai, it seems that you can't leave easily. The heart of Emperor Sun and Moon swelled rapidly. Full of confidence, what are you afraid of? Chief of the Snow Barbarians, it seems we have no choice. Emperor Shenwu felt that he could do it too. Changjang Sword Emperor charged directly towards corpse ancestor. Today, all past grudges will be settled. As long as it is resolved, he can focus on improving his strength. Emperor Xinghai felt a little uncomfortable. I can't even leave. HMPH, it seems that the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night will not intervene in this matter. Then everything is still unknown. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is simply afraid that they will bring disaster to the ancestors of the great Tao and others, so he will not easily interfere with their cause and effect. That's enough. The Snow Barbarian tribe leader naturally saw this as well. Although he was a little weak now, he would not allow himself to be bullied. Shenwu Emperor, let's fight. The corpse ancestor also rushed towards the Changjang Sword Emperor. Either you die or I live. I just went ahead with it. There is no other choice. Because even if he could kill the Changjang Sword Emperor, it was still unknown whether he could escape. Boom, boom, boom. A group of people started fighting. Even if their power is enough to destroy the world, it won't make much waves here. The monks outside were confused. Where are the people? All gone. but they also knew that it was the eternal night immortal emperor's trick. I'm afraid this matter is not over yet. Xinghai Emperor and his companions couldn't leave. Chu Xiu, Qin Yun, and the others were shocked beyond words. Scare them. Now, Xinghai Emperor and the others have also been locked up by the young sect leader's parents. Li Maozhen and the others remained silent. They had seen the two children's parents, but they had never imagined they would be so terrifying. The appearance of so many immortals is extremely rare. What exactly happened in the immortal world? At the same time, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao sat down on the stone, extremely excited. Just because they're in seclusion doesn't mean they can't be distracted, nor does it mean they can't see anything. They simply locked themselves up, so when they noticed something exciting was going on, they hurried over to take a look. Zio Hao, there are so many immortals. I'm still here to look for my parents. Daddy and Mommy are really amazing. Those immortals, like Aunt Kingsu, have left again. They couldn't quite understand it, but it certainly didn't affect the shock they felt in their hearts. There are still people bullying our Tao ancestor elders. It's so abominable. It's a pity that we are in seclusion and can't go out. They also have principles, so it makes them feel a little uncomfortable. It's okay, Daddy and Mommy will watch over it. Then let's just relax and retreat. The two little ones put aside their restless thoughts and continued to retreat. How long to lock oneself up? Depends on how long it will take them to trigger the Nirvana tribulation and ascend. Fairyland. After being busy for a while, immortal Emperor Gu Zio and his men have returned. The other immortal emperors hurriedly asked, what was the result? Is the immortal emperor of eternal night willing to return and guard the immortal realm? Immortal Emperor Guxiao shook his head. The immortal Emperor Yang and the immortal Emperor Linglong are currently playing with their children and will not be returning for the time being. Also, they don't seem to want to repeat the unexpected incident of the Eternal Day Demon. He could certainly guess this. After all, it was the Demon Emperor that was suppressed by the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Although the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor is more powerful now, the unexpected appearance of the Eternal Day Demon is also more powerful. The immortal emperors and giants fell silent, taking care of the baby. There is nothing I can do. I don't want to come back. This is a difficult situation. They are under tremendous pressure. But it's not all in vain. There seems to be a turn for the better. What's the turning point? Ascend. If their children want to ascend, they will definitely come back. Upon hearing this, many immortal emperors and giants were shocked. Yes, if their child runs away to the fairyland, then the parents must run back. Very good. But I'm afraid we don't have much time and 2 children. If you delay too long, the daylily will be cold, and it will be too late. The 2 children seem to be very powerful already. Maybe they will be here soon. Immortal Emperor Gu Zio prayed in his heart that the 2 little ancestors would come quickly. Let's hope so. The other great immortal emperors felt unsure. No matter what, we must stop the demons before that. Although the small goal has not been achieved, at least there are some signs of progress, so it is acceptable. The imperial palace of Jidao. After learning that the immortal Emperor Guxiao had taken people to the lower realm, Leng Jiushuang felt indifferent. Those guys can't sit still anymore and don't want to wait for death. She can understand. However, she was a little surprised that Zia Jiao and Chen Jun were discovered to have gone to the lower realm to take care of the baby. The couple is too high profile when taking care of their child. Otherwise, how could they be discovered with their abilities? Not to mention that immortal Emperor Gu Zio and the others could find him. However, the immortal Emperor Gu Zio did not achieve his goal, which means that even if their tracks are exposed, the couple will still persist in taking care of the child. I'm afraid it will be useless no matter who goes. I just hope it won't bring them any trouble, Leng Jiushuang murmured as he thought of this. The trouble was not only caused by the disturbance from those guys, but also because they were afraid that the demons would notice. After all, the demons have always been wary of the Eternal Night Emperor. If they knew the whereabouts of the Eternal Night Emperor, who knows if there would be any movement? And she has already sent people to take the 2 children to ascend to heaven. In the fairy world, there is a pair of eyes that see through everything. The Eternal Day Demon smiled slightly. They went to the netherworld. Although she had no interest in the Demon Emperor's affairs, she had been keeping an eye on the movements of the powerful people in the immortal realm. Although immortal Emperor Gu Zio and others were hiding, she eventually discovered their whereabouts. So many immortals suddenly went to the lower world. Is that normal? Finally, it showed up. Chapter 195-2. Little ones trigger a catastrophe. Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Yang Zhou Tian Mo felt that apart from this possibility, there seemed to be no other reasonable explanation. The lower realm. She wondered whether she should go down to the mortal world to meet the immortal emperor of eternal night. But it doesn't feel right. After all, I heard that the eternal night immortal emperor brought his wife and children with him. Haha, interesting. It seems that it's just so to focus on love affairs instead of doing serious work. Yang Tianmo thought about it for a moment, then gave up the idea. Forget it, I believe you will come back one day. She was not in a hurry either. Some time has passed. Ancient continent. What happened to the ancestors of Dongzhu Avenue spread quickly to all directions. The Changjiang Sword Emperor, the Divine Martial Emperor, the Sun and Moon Emperor are truly the great Tao ancestor. His tilde if this is the case, there are few forces in the entire desolate ancient continent that can rival the great Tao ancestor. Moreover, the leader of the Tao ancestor sect is truly mysterious. He has never appeared from beginning to end. It is said that he is in seclusion. To be able to make 3 great emperors submit, one must be strong, not weak. What do you know? The leader of the Daozu sect is just 2 children, and they are emperor-level children. That's what the locals say. What so scary? That's not true. They are the bloodline of the Eternal Night Emperor. Emperor Eternal Night? No wonder he could have made 3 great emperors submit to him. But Emperor Eternal Night has been missing for a long time. Could he have ascended to heaven? How could he have left behind a bloodline? He has indeed ascended, but I heard that Emperor Yang has returned to the ancient continent. He is guarding the area around the great Tao ancestor. What, is this possible? Not only that, a few days ago, there was a sign of immortality descending from the sky. Thousands of immortals from the immortal world descended upon the great Tao ancestor. It is said that they were there to invite the Eternal Night Emperor to return to the immortal world. Oh, it was the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. How is that possible? Absolutely true. Countless people have witnessed it with their own eyes. It's definitely a terrifying celestial messenger, extremely rare in the world. Some people even saw their own fallen ancestors among those immortals, but they didn't dare to greet them. Those powerful emperors in Jiangsu don't dare to speak loudly, for fear of offending the immortals. If I can see such a scene in my lifetime, I can say that my life is not in vain. And then, how did it go? Although I don't know what happened, the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night didn't agree. So those immortals left very quickly. It only took a short time. His tilde so terrifying. Even with such a large scale, they couldn't even summon the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. That's not the case, immortal Emperor. It sounds terrifying, and it's definitely beyond our comprehension. This is too abnormal. Emperor Yang has become so powerful after ascending to the immortal realm. It is said that Emperor Xinghai and his men went to cause trouble for the great Tao ancestor, but were eventually imprisoned by Emperor Yang. Then they went at a really bad time. Who would have thought? For a moment, all parties were shocked. Incredible. Many people speculated that there might be some huge changes in the fairy world. Otherwise, how could such a rare fairy miracle happen? This further illustrates the terrifying nature of the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. The result is, more people run to the great Tao ancestor, admiring his reputation and trying to see if they can become his disciples. As a result, the originally normal Dongzhu suddenly became extremely prosperous and lively. This day, in the Pure Valley, Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao had just finished their prenatal education when they felt a violent aura descending from the sky. The wind is rising and the clouds are rolling, and the sky is changing drastically. The entire space looked like a precursor to a coming storm. This force made people feel uneasy, and the entire Dongzhu fell into a disaster-like situation. The breath of disaster, Chen Zhanai looked up. This day has finally come. Needless to say, everyone knows that it was their children who triggered the great calamity of Nirvana. Don't mention it, they might be in seclusion seriously. Husband, it seems that Yuaner and Hayar have touched the fairyland. Zia Jiao was a little happy and a little worried. They were happy that their cub had become stronger and could ascend to the immortal realm, but they were also worried because the cub was too young. Chen Zhanai smiled slightly. Madam, Yuaner and Hayar's power has begun to transform into immortal power. I'm afraid it won't be long before the great calamity of Nirvana arrives. Of course, the old father is happy when his children become strong. As for other trivial matters, he didn't take them to heart and just let things take their course. Zia Jiao naturally knew this. Once the cub's power was converted into immortal power to a certain extent, the lower world would not be able to accommodate them. and then they would naturally be able to trigger a catastrophe. Husband, there is no time to lose. Let's start preparing. I wonder what expression my son will have when facing his own calamity. Will he be able to cope with it? Anyway, I am still worried. Okay, Chen Zhana and Zia Jiao started to get busy to prevent any accidents. The ancestor of the Great Way. The sudden change left everyone stunned, especially the monks who came here because of its reputation. They all looked up at the depressing and heart-wrenching sky. What happened? What a terrifying aura. How could such a celestial phenomenon occur? Could it be that some treasure has descended upon us? It seems it's the breath of disaster. Someone said something, and the atmosphere suddenly became tense. What disaster? Could it be the rumored catastrophe of ascension? Which powerful person caused the catastrophe at this time? Everyone was shocked, terrified, and envious, because they knew exactly what this meant. They came here because of its reputation, but they never expected to encounter such a thing, or even have the opportunity to see it with their own eyes. No, run away. After realizing what was happening, he retreated repeatedly. Look at the hammer, it's easy to get killed. It was a mess for a while. Suddenly someone remembered. It seems that the young master of the Tao ancestor sect is in seclusion. Never mind, let's go. Saving your life is the most important thing. There is no time to study why. The first thing to do is to run away. When Chang Zheng's sword Emperor and the other two noticed it, they were also stunned for a moment. Then it became extremely solemn. This is the great calamity of Nirvana. My voice is almost hoarse. This breath made their hearts palpitate. How could they not know what it meant? It's Ziyu and Zihao. Well, I didn't expect that the two kids' retreat would actually work. This is too depressing. They were even relieved that the young master was going to leave them behind and ascend to heaven first. Oh no, set up the formation quickly. After realizing what was happening, they all attacked together. This is the ancestral home of the great Tao, not some deserted place. Not to mention that they have just been busy recruiting a group of good disciples recently, so they can't just disappear like this. Even when they were resolving the cause and effect with Xinghai Emperor and the others, they weren't this panicked. But now, they were completely panicked. Chapter 196. Two kids are going to ascension. Chang Zheng's sword Emperor and his men no longer cared about recruiting disciples, and quickly released their power to protect the crowd. It's Ziyu and Zihao. Li Mayaajin and the others were very surprised. I didn't expect that the two kids would ascend so soon. Crying to death, Chu Ziu, Qin Yun, and other disciples also began to evacuate the crowd. Otherwise, they would easily be implicated and killed by the young master, and then they would have no place to cry. At the same time, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were in a mysterious state, enveloped by a magical power. His eyes widened, and his face was filled with joy. Sister, it seems we can ascend. That's right, Zio Hao, it's the Nirvana tribulation. We finally triggered it. They were just in seclusion, and suddenly the disaster struck. They were also very surprised, but of course they were even happier because their small goal was finally achieved. The two little ones felt that their strength had changed and became stronger. Then he looked up at their disaster, feeling a little excited and a little solemn. But how are we going to survive this catastrophe? Yeah, we didn't survive the disaster. We won't. Then go find your parents. Okay. The two kids didn't know what to do, so they could only run to their parents. After all, they were still young. Daddy and Mommy. Daddy and Mommy. He ran out with a clatter. Then I met Chen Zhana and Zia Jiao on the way. You and her Hayar, don't panic. Well, the kid wasn't concentrating on the tribulation and even ran out. Daddy and Mommy, the two little ones exclaimed. Daddy and Mommy, how are we going to survive this calamity? He immediately raised his head and asked. Chen Zhen, I said, you and her Hayar, to overcome the tribulation is to fight against the heavenly Tao. This is the test given to you by the heavenly Tao. If you pass the test, you will become an immortal. Daddy is right. Yuaner and Hayar, don't be anxious. The Nirvana calamity has not yet fully formed. Zia Jiao hurriedly reminded the children. Okay, then Daddy and Mommy, do you want us to fight against the Nirvana tribulation? The two little ones could only think of this, otherwise their brains would not allow it. I guess so, Chen Zhane smiled. If you win the Nirvana tribulation, your strength will be completely transformed into immortal power. It will be like a rebirth, and your life level will become stronger. Great, then we will definitely win the Nirvana tribulation. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao understood as soon as they heard it. It turned out to be a fight that's easy. Boom! As he spoke, there was a sudden loud noise, accompanied by thunder and lightning that split the dark sky. The two kids were startled, and their little necks shrank. Yuaner and Hayar, don't be afraid. Start meditating. It will benefit you a lot if you feel the power of the catastrophe with your heart, Zia Jiao hurriedly taught him. As for whether the baby can understand, I am not sure. The two little ones' faces turned serious. Okay, Daddy and Mommy, we are not afraid. Don't worry, Daddy and Mommy, let's get started. What is meant by comprehending with the heart? I don't quite understand, but it is very simple to concentrate on meditation and control your own power. Just do it. The two little ones crossed their legs and meditated in the sky. Then he mobilized his own strength and adapted to this power that suddenly began to transform into immortal power. Of course, Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao are the guardians of their children. Madam, it seems that it will take several days for the Nirvana tribulation to fully take shape. Husband, then let's stay with them all the time. After Zia Jiao finished speaking, she waved her hand and used her own power to protect the great Tao ancestor and those disciples, so that they would not be shocked to death by their cubs, who would probably be very sad. Good. Then they also meditated on the side. Neat and tidy. Not long. The serious Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao suddenly opened their eyes wide, because they seemed to have realized the significance of the existence of the Nirvana catastrophe. Daddy and Mommy, is the Nirvana tribulation going to destroy us? Yes, Daddy and Mommy, the power of the Nirvana tribulation is so strong. It has just begun, and it hasn't even arrived yet, but we all feel that the power is being aroused and out of control. Of course, Chen Zhanai would not hide it, because this was no joke. Yuan or Hayar, it is indeed so. The great calamity of Nirvana will destroy you, but it will also create you. Yuaner and Hayar, pay attention, otherwise you will be in danger. Besides, your sister is watching you, Zia Jiao warned worriedly. However, we cannot tell the baby that his parents will protect him. Otherwise, the baby may become arrogant, which will be counterproductive. This can only be used as encouragement. Ha, sister. The two kids were stunned for a moment. They didn't hear anything and only heard the word sister. Eyes widened. Daddy and Mommy, we have a little sister now. Chen Zhanai said seriously. Yuaner Hayar, mother is pregnant with my sister. You two must work hard, otherwise my sister will laugh at you. It's as simple as fooling your own kids. Upon hearing this, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were stunned by the sudden happiness. That's great. We have a sister now. Then we must not let our sister laugh at us. Daddy and Mommy, please protect my sister. Then he immediately became focused and didn't care about his parents anymore. And they probably understand the meaning of destruction, which is that they may be killed by the Nirvana catastrophe. It's just that they don't have any idea about falling, so they don't have too much fear. They only knew that if they couldn't transcend the tribulation and ascend, then their parents would definitely be sad, and they wouldn't be able to see their sister again. They would never accept that. Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao guarded silently. This was the first time for them to help their child overcome difficulties. It's not a big problem, so I'll do some prenatal education for the little one, even though the little one might be born in a fairyland. Time passes by every second. The power of the two kids is getting stronger and stronger. That is the power of immortals. The aura of disaster above his head became even stronger. It lasted for several days. It is indeed difficult for the two kids. At some point, there was a loud bang, completely breaking the celestial phenomenon. Here they come. Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao looked up at the sky, then immediately move away, lest the fluctuations in their power make the Nirvana calamity of their children become very powerful, which is not necessarily a good thing. At the same time, countless thunders began to descend, cutting through the sky. As the destructive force came rushing in, the two little ones' Nirvana catastrophe was completely triggered. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao opened their eyes and found that they were surrounded by disaster. And a little scary, because they had never seen such a scene before, let alone being in the center of it all. It feels like a helpless child facing a terrifying hurricane or tsunami, and they can no longer see their father and mother. But it doesn't matter, Daddy and Mommy have to protect my sister. They can handle everything on their own. Sister, we succeeded. Zio Hao, we have triggered the Nirvana tribulation. Then let's get started. Okay. Whether or not one can successfully ascend is another matter. After saying that, the two little ones soared into the sky, facing the great calamity of Nirvana. Hit him. Chapter 197. The two kids joined forces to fight against the Nirvana catastrophe. Many monks were shocked when they saw this scene. Look, it's two children. Could it be the little sect leader of the legendary Tao ancestor? I have heard that the leader of the Da Dao sect is Urwa, and he is in seclusion. I didn't expect it to be true, and it really is them who are going through the tribulation. Oh my God, the children of the eternal night immortal emperor are all so perverted. It's so depressing. Is this the power of the ascension tribulation? How terrifying. If we hadn't been protected by strong men, we would have been affected. Everyone was terrified because they had never seen the catastrophe of ascension. I have never seen two children going through a tribulation. I don't know whether it is fortunate or unfortunate. In short, it is unheard of. Chang Zheng Sword Emperor and others have been busy waiting for the two children's nirvana catastrophe to come. A few days passed, and the disaster finally came. At this moment, I was even more shocked. Although they are under great pressure to guard the ancestors of the great Tao, it is still of great benefit to be able to come into contact with things of this level in advance. It just came from two kids, making them laugh and cry. Is this the calamity that befell Ziyuan and Zihao? It seems that the young master will soon leave the great Tao ancestor. I give up. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night will definitely protect the young sect master, and we will be the ancestors guarding the Great Way. The Sun and Moon Emperor had a fiery expression. As a powerful person who is about to take another step forward and trigger the great catastrophe of Nirvana, this scene has benefited her a lot. Very important. So she was extremely excited, but she did not forget her main job, which was to take care of the house. The Eternal Night Immortal Emperor and his wife are so mysterious and powerful that they will definitely protect the young sect master well. They may be worrying too much. The three of them were in the void, quietly waiting for the young sect leader to ascend, and then witness the miracle with their own eyes. The disciples of the great Tao ancestor, especially the geniuses who had just joined, were extremely confused. They finally joined the Tao ancestor sect, but within a few days, the young sect leader was about to ascend. What should I do? No one has ever seen the young master. It is difficult to detect now. We only know that the young sect leader is undergoing a tribulation. However, they were deeply shocked to witness such a scene with their own eyes, and it is unforgettable for them, because such opportunities are too rare. Li Maiajan and Gong Luoyu were heartbroken. It was so uncomfortable that they suddenly couldn't take care of the baby. However, they were genuinely happy, but the sudden separation was hard to accept. Ziyuan and Zihao are about to ascend. Then perhaps we have to leave the ancient continent. This great catastrophe of Nirvana is not important because they believe that the two children can succeed. That means the two kids will leave them and go to the fairyland. I don't know when we'll see each other again. Maybe by then the two kids will have grown up. It was heartbreaking to think that they were still a long way from ascending to heaven. At the same time, the fairyland, the ascension gate of the Jishiandao fairyland. Palace Master, I'm here. Su Kingsu was originally at the Su family. Suddenly, she received the news that the two children were about to ascend to heaven, so she hurried to take a look. She found out that the two kids hadn't been successful yet, so it wasn't too late for her to come. Leng Jiushuang nodded. Ziyuan and Zihao's nirvana tribulation has arrived. Perhaps it won't be long before they can ascend. She had been sending people to wait here, and she rushed here immediately after hearing the news that a cultivator from the lower realm had ascended to heaven. Because she had to pick up the two kids herself, lest they ascend to some other place, and that would be no fun. Ziyuan and Zihao will definitely succeed. Su Kingsu believed it without a doubt. What are you afraid of? With Zia Jiao and Master Chen here, there won't be any major problems. The couple is here to play with their baby. Otherwise, it would be easy for them to exercise their privileges and bring their baby to the fairyland to play. Leng Jiushuang naturally knew this too. Then release your own power, communicate with the lower world, and form a channel. Don't go to the wrong place to pick up the two kids. With her strength, she can naturally interfere with the two kids' nirvana catastrophe. With one hand, she can seal the entire nirvana catastrophe in a certain space, or even crush it to pieces. But it was obviously not her turn to worry about it. Around me, he also guarded a group of powerful people. The palace master personally welcomed the two little ancestors. It's a cause for celebration. The two little ancestors are finally coming back with their parents. Rumbled, the great catastrophe of Nirvana continues. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao are also working tirelessly to respond. The terrifying aura that rushed towards them like a torrent did put them under some pressure. But they didn't want to be struck by lightning, so they kept resisting stubbornly. But the great calamity of Nirvana will not be overcome so easily. As time passed, a feeling of fatigue came over the two little ones. Although they work very hard and are very powerful, they are also exhausted when facing endless disasters. The loss of strength and the difficulty in recovering it quickly made them gradually become powerless. This was also the first time they had experienced such horrific consumption, which was a huge challenge to their will. Boom, boom, boom. After blocking a bolt of lightning, Chen Zihao's face almost fell. Sister, I'm so tired. Yes, Ziohao, I really want to take a rest. Chen Ziyuan was also exhausted and just wanted to lie down and take a nap. But they are undergoing a tribulation, and they can't sleep well, so they can easily be struck by lightning. Moreover, each of them has their own great calamity of nirvana. That is to say, two great calamities of nirvana. But because they are twins, a boy and a girl connected by blood, and their fate and causal ties are very similar, they do everything in unison. So the disaster comes at the same time, which is equivalent to a joint effort, and the power can only be stronger, not weaker. It is unknown how long this catastrophe will last before they can ascend. Suddenly, Chen Ziyuan discovered that his brother's nirvana tribulation was about to strike him. Ziohao, be careful. Hurry to block it. Boom, boom, boom. Sister, be careful. Chen Zihao didn't dare to stop, helping each other, being very busy and running around. It can be seen that the cause and effect of a pair of twins, a boy and a girl, are exactly the same, and there is basically no possibility of any consequences caused by mutual interference in cause and effect. At least for now. Time passed slowly, and the extreme overdraft of strength made Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao feel dizzy. Sister, I really want to take a nap. They were so tired that they felt they had no strength left. Seeing her brother's eyelids starting to droop, Chen Ziyuan quickly slapped him. Ziohao, you can't sleep, your sister is watching you. If they fall asleep, it means they have failed to survive the tribulation and will be destroyed without being able to resist. That's right. Chen Zihao immediately stood up and tried to open his eyes wide. Hit him, and the endless disasters showed no sign of stopping. Instead, they became more powerful as time went by. Soon the two little ones' nirvana catastrophes began to merge, forming an even more terrifying catastrophe. A huge black vortex was overhead, boundless, as if it could devour everything. You can also see various celestial phenomena and various mysterious shadows. The two kids just really wanted to lie down because they didn't have many ideas. But thinking of their unborn sister, they couldn't just lie down. They insisted that without their sister, they would definitely be beaten. Sister, the nirvana tribulation has become more severe. Chen Zihao was shocked. I have never seen such a situation before, and it puts a lot of pressure on them. Ziohao, let's join forces too. Chen Ziyuan's face was extremely solemn. Okay. The two little ones immediately held hands, and the strength between them seemed to be one, flowing into each other. It was also at this time that a sacred golden light enveloped them. It turned out that their immortal bodies were completely activated. Chapter 198, Successfully Overcoming the Tribulation. In an instant, the power of the two little ones' immortal bodies erupted. Their strength also expanded rapidly. Realizing the changes in themselves, Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao exclaimed in surprise. Sister, we've become stronger again. That's right, Ziohao. It's our immortal body that escaped. We are so awesome. Then we can definitely fight against the catastrophe. Don't forget to take time to cheer yourself up. So they became more confident. Boom, boom, boom. Face the great catastrophe of nirvana. Not far away, Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao were guarding quietly. Husband, it is the power of Yuaner and Heiyar's immortal bodies. Zia Jiao knew very well that their cub had successfully inherited their strengths. Yuaner possessed the Dark Night Dao body, inherited from her husband. Her husband had always kept his physique well hidden, and the power of the Dark Night Dao body had been constantly strengthened and perfected by her husband. Therefore, after being passed down to their daughter, it was quite powerful, capable of holding down Heiyar in a fight. After all, some physiques may not be very strong at the beginning, but they may become famous because of their owner. Heiyar has a delicate immortal body. Well, it comes from her. This is a bit weird, but also very powerful. Chen Zhanai was very satisfied. Madam, it seems they have begun to use the power of their immortal bodies. As long as they are determined and can endure it, they will definitely succeed. Before, he had deliberately hidden his children's immortal bodies to prevent them from revealing their identities. Now, there was no need to hide them. As they ascended, their immortal bodies would shine brightly. Chen Zhanai casually sent out a clone, standing above the nirvana tribulation, overlooking everything. If anything unexpected happened, Don't blame him for not following martial ethics. Xia Jiao also sent out a clone to the Ascension Gate to inform the palace master and others. After all, the fairy world is not peaceful now, and she doesn't want any other accidents to happen. The many monks below looked up and witnessed this scene that had shocked them for 10,000 years. Seeing the two kids bathed in golden light, they faced the catastrophe of nirvana. The results quickly changed. The two kids were holding hands. Half of them were shrouded in darkness, and the other half were filled with the mighty power of immortals. They allowed endless calamities to befall them, making a loud rumbling sound. This is the power of a special physique. What a terrifying immortal body. Although their calamity has grown stronger, it seems they are just as powerful together. What a perverted kid. While other people's kids are still learning how to do housework, they have already started to overcome tribulations and ascend to heaven. Changjeng's sword emperor and others dared not breathe a word. I was really worried that the two kids wouldn't be able to bear it and would suddenly go to sleep. Fortunately, the two kids are determined, and now the power of their immortal bodies has been unleashed, which undoubtedly increases their chances of successfully surviving the tribulation. This kind of immortal body is also extremely powerful. It was also the first time they saw the two kids use it, and they were shocked for a moment. It must succeed. They clenched their fists tightly, more nervous than when they themselves were going through the tribulation. After all, these were two kids, a rare sight in the world. The disciples of the great Tao patriarch were completely impressed. Although they had never personally and closely dealt with the young master was so terrifying that he conquered them. But just as they arrived, the sect master was about to ascend. It was a pity. From now on, they could only listen to the legends of the young sect master. Young sect master must succeed. Chu Xiu and Qin Yun silently cheered him on. Li Maya Ajin, Gong Luoyu and the others were also extremely nervous. Ziyuan and Zihao's immortal bodies are so powerful. Ziyuan and Zihao must succeed. They felt very sorry for the two children. After all, they were still so young and had to face the disaster alone. It was really cruel. But there is no other way. Time passes slowly. The rumbling sound resounded through the sky. I don't know how long it took. The dense dark clouds began to retreat, forming a huge circular gap, and dazzling light fell on Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao. It creates a spectacle. Endless immortal power enveloped the two little ones and helped them to reach the real immortal realm. The two children's faces were filled with sunshine, and they looked up. Zio Hao, Nirvana tribulation has escaped. Sister, we succeeded. His tired face was filled with joy. It wasn't easy, but they finally survived the tribulation. Next comes Nirvana and rebirth. Soon, they noticed the changes in themselves and began to absorb and control the immortal power without saying a word. A refreshing feeling spreads throughout the body. The immortal power spread in all directions, forming a colorful light. Boom! The shackles of the realm were broken. Everything will fall into place naturally. The realm of true immortality. Yeah, Zio, we've become stronger again. Sister, we are so awesome. The two little ones looked like they had never seen the world before and were extremely excited. The realm of true immortals. Husband, Yuaner and Hayar have become immortals. Xia Jia was also very happy. Chen Juna held her in his arms. Yes, madam, Yuaner and Hayar have become immortals. It doesn't look very difficult. If it is a little difficult, it is because their children are too young. Otherwise, it should be very easy. But no matter what, this is a necessary journey for their children and an unforgettable life experience. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they saw this. Success. Finally succeeded. They watched it for many days. It wasn't easy. It's so stressful. However, the fact that the two kids really succeeded still made it seem like a dream and unreal to them. Two fairy babies. A 3-year-old baby who became an immortal. Ha 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 ha, we succeeded. Changjeng's sword emperor and the others smiled happily. The small clan leader has ascended. It's really laughable. However, this observation also brought them great benefits, and perhaps they were able to accumulate some experience. Young sect master succeeded. Chu Xiu and Qin Yun hugged each other and jumped up. It's like a dream. They themselves are so incompetent, but the young sect leader is about to abandon them and go to the fairyland. It hurts so much. Li Maya and Gong Luoyu cried with joy. Ziyuan and Zihao succeeded. They won't be able to take care of children anymore. It really hurts. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were the first to report the good news. Daddy and Mommy, we succeeded. He ran over with a clattering sound, but they suddenly found themselves being swallowed by a force. I was really panicked for a moment. Daddy and Mommy, please save us. We're getting arrested. They were obviously stronger, but they were still unable to resist this force. Depressed, Zia Jiao waved her hand casually and said with a smile, Yuan or Hayar, this is you going to ascend, not be captured. Mother is right, Yuan and Hayar, you are going to the fairyland, and you can go there with your own strength. Chen Jun, I didn't care. It is not difficult to buy some time for their daughter to say goodbye to the ancient continent. Okay, Daddy and Mommy, we understand. After the two little ones realized what was happening, they suddenly felt uncomfortable. They ascended to the celestial realm. Then I have to abandon the Grand Master, the elders, the pretty sister fairy sister, and the others, as well as Zio Ziu, Zio Yun, Zio Jiu, Zio Dai, and the others. Chapter 199, Farewell to the Young Master. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao looked at the ancestor of the great Tao and the familiar crowd below. This is too difficult. My mind was in a tangle, but they have no choice. But they will definitely come back to visit one day, just like their parents did. Beautiful sister, fairy sister, we are leaving now, don't worry. Grandpa Chang Zheng, second elder and third elder, we are leaving now. We will be waiting for you in the immortal realm. Zio Ziu, Zio Yun, all disciples, we are about to ascend. And there are Zio Jiu, Zio Di, Zio Ali, Ziok, and Zio Osh. We are about to ascend. Shouting reluctantly, I really want to go back to the ancestors of the great Tao and have a peaceful sleep with the beautiful sister fairies by my side. But it's a pity that they are about to ascend. It's a pity that the great Saint Lord and senior sister are not here. Although Li Maya Ajin and Gong Luoyu were not sure whether they would have the chance to meet again after this separation, they still smiled. Ziyuan and Zihao, when you go to the fairyland, remember to be happy and worry-free. Don't let Daddy and Mommy worry about you. Okay. Young sect master, don't worry, we will guard the sect. One day, we will also be able to ascend to the fairyland. Chang Zheng Sword Emperor and the other two quickly assured the two children to ascend. Don't worry about the ancestors' affairs. Besides, they themselves might go to the fairyland soon. Okay. Young sect master, just go to the immortal realm without worry. We will definitely strengthen the great Tao ancestor and catch up with your pace. Chu Ziu and Qin Yun quickly cooperated. Blow it out first. As for how long this time will be, they have no idea at all. Okay. Young master, why don't you take us with you? A group of monsters jumped excitedly. No, you are too weak. You will be easily eaten by the big monster. Okay, take care, little master. Crying to death. We will come back to visit when we have the chance. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao reminded. Everyone was shocked. Cooperate immediately. Respectfully send off the young master to ascend to heaven. The sound shook and resounded in all directions. The two little ones were obviously the sect leaders, but they still had to wave goodbye. Then, pulled by the immortal power, it slowly ascended to the sky. Daddy and Mommy, please catch us. Yuan or Hayar, Daddy and Mommy are always here. Chen Junna and Zia Jiao accompanied their children to ascend to heaven. Gradually, their figures gradually became blurred and then disappeared. At the same time, everything began to dissipate, as if nothing had happened, and returned to normal. For a long, long time. Ascension. Everyone was shocked. Some people also feel empty inside. The gate of ascension. Ziyu and Zihao succeeded. Su Kingsu smiled. The two kids finally came to the fairyland and were petted by her. Even if they become immortals, they will still be petted by her. Leng Jiushuang also showed a slight smile. Ziyuan and Zihao are coming. Then I became extremely excited. I don't know how to take care of the baby properly. Soon, two small figures appeared in their sight. It can also be noticed that Chen Zhanai and Zia Jiao are not far away from the two children. Is it okay for their parents to protect them personally? Ziyuan and Zihao, congratulations on your ascension to the fairyland. Su Kingsu smiled. It's not easy. Aunt Kingsu, the two little ones looked from afar and exclaimed. It would be very comfortable if there was someone to guide them in the fairyland. Aunt Kingsu, we succeeded. Then she immediately showed off and asked for praise. Then you guys are really awesome. Su Kingsu also cooperated very well. Leng Jiushuang looked at the two children with a smile on her face. Ziyuan and Zihao, you're here. It was not easy to see for the first time the two children that Zia Jiao and Chen Zhanai had hidden. Twins, a boy and a girl. They raised it secretly until it grew up. You are my aunt too. The two kids looked at Leng Jiushuang. They haven't seen it, but it seems that he is acquainted with Aunt Kingsu. Su Kingsu knew that the palace master had no temper, so she reminded him. Ziyuan and Zihao, this is the palace master. You can live in the Palace Master's palace from now on. Palace Master, the two kids couldn't quite understand, but they were still interested. The Palace Master's palace must be very big. Of course it is. It's bigger than my aunt's house. That's great. Then the Palace Master must be very powerful too, right? The two little ones were quite familiar with Su Kingsu, so they were not too restrained or scared when they arrived in an unfamiliar environment. Just forget about the ancestors of the Tao. Of course, the Palace Master is very powerful. Is the Palace Master as powerful as my father and mother? You will ask questions. No. Leng Jushuang didn't know what the two kids should call her appropriately, and after much consideration, she could only call her Palace Master. Ziyuan and Zihao, just call me Palace Master, he interrupted quickly. Okay, Palace Master. We will definitely be obedient. The two kids felt that they were going to live in someone else's house, so they had to behave themselves. Leng Jushuang gently touched the two kids' heads and loved them very much. There was also the feeling of suddenly becoming a grandmother. I was confused and quickly shook off the clue. Palace Master, Zia Jiao greeted. Chen Zhenai was by his side. He was back. Leng Jushuang felt better and was finally back. Jiao, it's good that you're back. Welcome the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. The status of the Emperor's son-in-law must be improved. Chen Zhenai said speechlessly. Palace Master Leng, you don't have to be polite. Just call me Zhen Yi. Leng Jushuang also made great contributions to the training of his own wife. Leng Jushuang has indeed been worried a lot these days. Okay, Jiao Zhenai, let's go back to the Jidao Imperial Palace first to welcome you and congratulate Ziyuan and Zihao. Leng Jushuang was not polite. Then the group led the two children to ascend. Su Kingsu walked in front, holding the two children. Aunt Kingsu, will we reach the fairyland after passing through this ascension gate? The two little ones were very excited. Yes, the other side of the ascension gate is the fairyland. It's very large and beautiful. But the fairyland is also very dangerous. You must not be naughty and run around everywhere. Su Kingsu quickly took the opportunity to remind them. Okay, Aunt Kingsu, we get it. We definitely won't run around. The two kids quickly nodded in agreement. But Aunt Kingsu, where are we going? Of course we're going to the Jidao Imperial Palace. That's where your mother lives. Great, then let's go to the Jidao Imperial Palace. The two little ones didn't understand how powerful the Jidao Imperial Palace was, but they had to go and see where their mother lived. We still have to go to Aunt Kingsu's house. They haven't forgotten it either. Of course, your aunt will take you there when the time comes. Su Kingsu had no choice. Although the two kids said they would be good and obedient, I always felt that they would run around. With someone taking care of the baby, Chen Zhenai and Zia Jiao have some free time. Leng Jushuang watched quietly. Suddenly, I found that Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao were holding the corners of the clothes of the two guards. Also heard, Palace Master, they stole our big dog before. Chapter 202, Kids came to the Jidao Imperial Palace. Oh my God, you little ancestors really hold a grudge. Several guards were caught and felt a little panicked. He quickly explained, Palace Master, they did come to Shengxian Gate before. Su Kingsu was helpless holding the two children, and she had to grab others when passing by. Leng Jushuang probably understood. Ziyuan and Zihao, they were just fulfilling their duties and were just teasing you before. Don't take it to heart. Yuan or Hayar, that thing is over. Zia Jiao quickly reminded her son. Don't worry about it. Okay, the two kids had no choice but to let go of the guards. Then let's pretend we've forgotten. He also cooperates with his mother. Pretend. Okay, as long as you are happy. Soon they stepped through the ascension gate. This made Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao excited and energetic again. The fairyland is really big and beautiful. The power is also very comfortable. Take a deep breath, your face full of intoxication. Then let's go to the Jidao Imperial Palace. Not long, they arrived at the Jidao Imperial Palace. The Jidao Imperial Palace is so huge, much bigger than our ancestor. The two little ones exclaimed again. I thought their ancestor was already very powerful, but I didn't expect that his influence in the fairy world was even greater. It is true that they have never seen it. Sister, let's go over there and take a look. Okay. The two little ones ran around, full of curiosity. Su Kingsu could only run after him. This left many powerful people and disciples of the Jidao Imperial Palace confused. Two children. What's going on? Whose baby is this? After a long time, they finally went to the palace. Su Kingsu sat at the table with the two children and started eating and drinking. Chen Zhenai and Zia Jiao were chatting with Leng Jushuang. Palace Master, is there any movement from the Eternal Day Demon? Zia Jiao asked. Leng Jushuang shook his head. Not yet. She really doesn't seem to have much interest in the immortal realm, otherwise she would have made some move long ago. I wonder what her purpose is. But the more difficult it is to figure out, the more worried one becomes. That's good, it will save some trouble. Of course, Chen Junai couldn't predict it. He is very Buddhist now. He will just deal with the enemy as he comes and block the water as it comes. He won't be idle and look for trouble for himself. Leng Jushuang is not so panicked now. There is nothing to be afraid of. Indeed, even though the Eternal Day demon hasn't appeared, her very presence has given the demons a huge boost, leading to the Demon Emperor's recent rampant invasions. And the Qingshuan Dao sect has been broken by the Demon Emperor. Yi Qingshuan should not fall so easily, but his whereabouts are unknown. I already know. Chen Junai was silent for a moment. The immortal Emperor Guxiao has been to the lower realm. Leng Jushuang was stunned for a moment. Did they find you? Really? Leng Jushuang probably understood. No matter what, if the Eternal Day demon doesn't come out, it will be difficult for the demons to deal with the immortal realm. I will send people to keep an eye on the immortal realm, just in case. Chen Junai nodded. Then they stayed at the Jidao Imperial Palace for a while to welcome the guests. It is also to let the two children get familiar with the environment of the fairyland and the Jidao Imperial Palace. As for telling the two kids too much, they probably won't understand much, so it's better not to say anything. Then they went to Zia Jiao's secret retreat place. Their family needs a peaceful environment where they will not be disturbed, and this place is undoubtedly very suitable. No one can easily set foot here. Suddenly they changed places, and Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao couldn't adapt quickly for a while. Daddy and Mommy, where is this? Yuan or Hayar, this is also our home. That's great. We have a home again. The two little ones were very happy. The Jidao Imperial Palace is the Jidao Imperial Palace, but it feels different from their family's home. Here it is more like a pure valley, free and unrestrained. Daddy and Mommy, we like it here. Mom, can you let us touch your sister? The two kids suddenly remembered this. The big eyes became extremely expectant. Okay, but it will take some time for me to come and see you, Zia Jiao said softly. It's okay, we can wait. Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao's little hands gently placed on Zia Jiao's belly. Oh, sister, their room where they lived. Come out quickly. After a long time, the two little ones walked away and ran around to explore this wonderland. Zio Hao, let's go on an adventure to our home. Okay, sister. Their house is very big, and it would take several days without eating, drinking, or sleeping to explore it completely. Zia Jiao said, Husband, the Qingshuan Dao sect has been destroyed, you. It's okay, madam. Chen Junai knew what his wife wanted to say. After all, he had mentioned Mo Qingru and others to his wife. Everyone has their own choices. I just hope that my senior sister and the others are safe and sound. After all, Mo Qingru is still a disciple of Qingshuan Dao sect, so nothing he says is inappropriate. If Mo Qingru has her own choice and comes to him, he will also help Mo Qingru enter the Jidao Imperial Palace. Unfortunately, some things are not as simple as a sentence. Zia Jiao could understand. However, if something like this happens, it won't be easy for my husband's senior sisters to escape the disaster. After all, Yi Qingshuan couldn't turn the tide and stop everything. Then without saying much, the couple snuggled together quietly. Let's have a honeymoon. The big ones have already ascended. Now their small goal is to wait for the baby to be born. At this moment, other fairy realms are still busy. With the existence of the Eternal Day demon, the demon clan has recently become very arrogant, causing troubles and fighting for resources lawlessly. This is simply outrageous. Many forces in the fairyland were destroyed by the demons, not just the Qingshuan Taoist sect, so the losses were also huge. The great masters of the various immortal realms were also busy, leading their disciples to suppress the demons everywhere. They also killed many powerful demons, forcing back the demon invasion and allowing the land to breathe. Apart from the rare battles between the strongest warriors, other battles, big and small, have never stopped. Time passes slowly. Suddenly a piece of news came, which made everyone excited. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night has returned to the immortal realm. Is this true? How could it be false? It's absolutely true. According to the people they sent out, both of their ancestors have ascended to heaven. This is a cause for celebration. Then can the parents not return to the fairyland? So the Eternal Night immortal Emperor must be back. It's not clear where he went, but it is very likely in the Jidao Imperial Palace. That's great, Hahoha. The return of the Eternal Night immortal Emperor is a deterrent even if he doesn't take action. It's our turn to fight back. Hateful demons. Many monks were as excited as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Is there an eternal day demon among the demon clan? Who is afraid of whom? Fight first and talk later. Everyone listen to my command. Search for any traces of the demons and leave no one alive after we find them. Chapter 201. The Eternal Day Demon arrives at the Jidao Imperial Palace. Somewhere in the fairyland, the demon emperor was a little depressed. It seems that even without the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, it would be impossible to take over the 33 immortal realms in a short period of time. He fought many battles with the immortal emperor of the immortal realm, but found that he had no overwhelming strength, and it was almost impossible for anyone to kill anyone else. Only by paying a heavy price could the immortal realm immortal emperor be defeated, but he couldn't accept that. If you are traumatized like before, even if you can achieve your goal, it is the same as not achieving it. After all, who knows whether the immortal emperor of eternal night wants to kill him? He had to take precautions and deal with the immortal emperor of eternal night. The powerful demons were also extremely depressed, as they had suffered heavy losses. It was all because the demon emperor suddenly came back and brought with him an eternal daytime demon, disrupting their plans. Otherwise, they would have just continued to pursue their own small goals. There is no need to put yourself in such danger. But at this time, news came. Report to the demon emperor. I heard that the immortal emperor of eternal night has appeared. What, are you serious? The demon emperor was extremely surprised. He didn't expect that the eternal night immortal emperor would finally run out. That's not a good thing. At least neither outcome is good for him. Replying to the demon emperor, it is indeed true. Although I was not able to see it with my own eyes, it is said that the immortal emperor of eternal night has returned. As a result, the morale of the cultivators in the major immortal realms has obviously risen sharply. The demon emperor's expression grew serious. This is definitely not groundless. That is, the eternal night immortal emperor may really appear. This is not good for my demon clan. I will go to see the eternal day demon. There was no other way. He didn't want to confront the eternal night immortal emperor head-on at all. Apart from asking the eternal day demon to restrain the eternal night immortal emperor, there seemed to be no better way. Besides, isn't the eternal day demon interested in the eternal night immortal emperor? Perfect, let them fight. The secret prisoner QQE quickly followed. Demon emperor, the sudden appearance of the eternal night immortal emperor doesn't necessarily mean he's going to interfere in the affairs of the immortal realm. There's no need to panic. I know, but who knows if he will want to kill me? The demon emperor planned to hide for a while. Let's see how the situation develops. Otherwise, things will get out of control. It's indeed unknown, but the appearance of the eternal night immortal emperor isn't necessarily a bad thing. You still want to incite the eternal night immortal emperor to rebel. That's right. That's right, you little one. We've lost control now. The demon's invasion of the immortal realm is a fact, not to mention that the Qingshuan Dao sect has been destroyed. With your power, it's harder than ascending to heaven to persuade the eternal night immortal emperor to rebel. Only the eternal day demon can do it. The demon emperor cursed and cursed, really wanting to destroy this group of traitors. Relying on the fact that he couldn't do anything to the eternal day demon, he was jumping back and forth. How outrageous. QQE was silent. That's true. Now what they say doesn't count. They can only blame the demon emperor and the eternal day demon for being above them and disrupting their plans. Soon, the demon emperor found the eternal day demon. The eternal day demon and the eternal night immortal emperor have appeared. If you're afraid of death, just hide. Yongri Tianmo was not surprised. It has nothing to do with her anyway. The demon emperor dared not speak out, but now he had to rely on the eternal day demon to restrain the eternal night immortal emperor. Otherwise, they would definitely be beaten. I've brought you the news. You can do whatever you want. He left after saying a few words, proving that he also has a temper. And Jin, QQE, and others stayed, because they think that the eternal day demon has the final say now. Eternal day demon, how should we deal with it? Respond, why should we respond? Eternal day demon asked back. He didn't provoke me, so why should I deal with him? It's better to wait and see what happens. After saying this, the figure of the eternal day demon began to disappear. Although I don't want to deal with it, I should meet the eternal night immortal emperor in person, leaving behind a group of powerful demons, staring at each other in amazement. Well, one is the demon emperor, the other is the eternal daytime demon. Neither of them is obedient. However, they felt that the demon emperor should be more restrained, and the Eternal Day demon would definitely take action. Then they may be relatively free recently, so we can only wait and see what happens. After Yangri Tianmo left, he went directly to Jidao Imperial Palace. Even the demon emperor doesn't dare to move the Jidao Imperial Palace too much now, but she dares. And since we don't know where the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is hiding, we can only go to the Jidao Imperial Palace and lure out the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. This is the most appropriate and fastest method. Not long, the Eternal Day demon descended above the Jidao Imperial Palace. Release your power without saying a word. There was no dragging of feet at all. Such a scene made the powerful people in Jidao Imperial Palace change their expressions drastically. He comes with bad intentions. Sensing the aura of the Eternal Day demon, Leng Jushuang immediately appeared. Staring at the lawless and wanton female demon in front of him, he angrily said, "Eternal Day demon, you finally showed up." She had seen the Eternal Day demon before, so she naturally recognized him. But I didn't expect that this female devil didn't show up earlier or later, but only appeared after Xia Jiao and Chen Junai returned. That's worth speculating. But I'm glad she showed up at this time. "Where is the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night?" asked the demon of Eternal Day. It can be said that the goal is clear. Leng Jushuang felt like she was being ignored. He didn't answer directly. "This is my Jidao Imperial Palace. What is your purpose?" The target is naturally the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night. The Eternal Day demon didn't want to waste time talking. "Just ask him to come out and see me." Leng Jushuang's pupils shrank. That's not right. Why would the Eternal Day demon be interested in Chen Junai? The reason she ran out specifically for was also Chen Junai. But they clearly hadn't seen it. Could it be that it was just because of Chen Junai's powerful strength? An opponent. Think about it, this is her territory. She also has a temper. How can you see the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night whenever you want? However, just as she finished her words, a terrifying force descended. Boom! In an instant, the protective formation of the Jidao Imperial Palace was shattered. All the powerful men looked as if they had seen a ghost. Hiss Tilda, this female devil is really powerful. I don't know where this troublemaker Eternal Daylight demon appeared from. This is not a good thing. However, it seems that the Eternal Day demon's goal is not to destroy their Jidao Imperial Palace, but the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Leng Jushuang was locked in a murderous aura, and she heard, "You are no match for me. If he doesn't want to show up, then I will force him to show up." The power of the Eternal Day demon was overwhelming. It seemed as if the entire Jidao Imperial Palace could be suppressed by her, with just a backhand. Leng Jushuang gritted her teeth slightly. This was not the first time she saw Yangzhou Tianmo take action. The last time, Yangzhou Tianmo destroyed the restriction that sealed the demon emperor. This time, he came directly to her door. However, she was no match for such a strong man. I just hope that after Chen Junai notices something, he can come and cover for me. Soon, another powerful force loomed. Endless night falls. Force back the power of the Eternal Day demon. At the same time, the sky changed color, half dark night and half bright day, forming an extremely strange scene. If ordinary people didn't know the truth, they would probably be confused about who the devil was. This is of course Chen Junai, Eternal Day Demon, Chapter 202, the Eternal Night Immortal Demon and the Eternal Day Immortal Emperor. Here it comes. Leng Jushuang breathed a sigh of relief. I knew Chen Junai would be able to notice something. Seeing this, Yangri Tianmo finally laughed. "Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, you finally showed up." Chen Junai locked onto the Eternal Day Demon. "What are you forcing me to show up?" No wonder the Eternal Day Demon had been silent. It turned out that his target was him. He was also sure that he had never seen the Eternal Day Demon, so there should be nothing to do with him. "Submit to me." Yangzhou Tianmo only said 4 words. Leng Jushuang's eyes widened, and so did the eyes of the powerful men in the Jidao Imperial Palace. Damn it, the demons are still so evil. They're trying to incite the Eternal Night Emperor to revolt. This time, they've even sent someone even more powerful. But Chen Junai was offended. The power of the immortal emperor shook, and the air suddenly became cold. "Just you. Just me." The Eternal Day Demon did not give in at all. "Submit to me, it will be beneficial to you." "That's just what you think," Chen Junai said with a cold look on his face. Suppressed with one palm. He is more Buddhist, but that doesn't mean this devil can dominate him. Boom! The Eternal Day Demon laughed instead of getting angry. While resisting and retreating, he said, "Interesting. It seems that if I don't let you suffer a little, you won't do what I want. I will return the same sentence to you. Chen Junai and Yangzhou Tianmo had a disagreement and started fighting. But on the other hand, facing such an opponent, Chen Junai was indeed eager to try, regardless of anything else. The Eternal Day Demon snorted coldly. The brilliant golden light illuminates the world. Daytime is coming. In an instant, it seemed as if there was a tomorrow behind her. The night is silent. Chen Junai was naturally merciless and would never let anyone win. You must not be careless when facing such an opponent. As the eternal night falls, everything becomes quiet, so quiet that it becomes eerie. Boom! In the formal confrontation, both sides' strength was surging and pouring out wildly. When they saw the two peak immortal emperors fighting, the strong men from the Jidao Imperial Palace hurriedly dodged to avoid being affected. Only Leng Jiushuang could withstand this burst of pressure, and with a wave of his hand, he protected the Jidao Imperial Palace. She was also waiting for the opportunity, preferably to force the Eternal Day Demon to retreat. The Eternal Day Demon and Chen Junai confronted each other in the sky, testing each other, but the fight has not yet reached the point of death. You are obviously a demon, but you pretend to be righteous. Why do you do this, Emperor Eternal Night? A gleam of light flashed in the eyes of the Eternal Day Demon. But she was thinking in her heart, this Eternal Night Immortal Emperor is quite similar to her. It's amazing. Why would the Eternal Day Demon ask such a question when he already knows the answer? Chen Junai didn't take it to heart at all. Why should I pretend to make this choice? Many powerful people in the Jidao Imperial Palace were a little solemn. Is the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor a demon? How come we didn't know? It must be the instigation of this female devil. The Eternal Day Demon didn't care either. Then do you want to know why I, who is clearly a force of righteousness, turned into a demon? I don't want to. Chen Junai shook off the Eternal Day Demon. The eyes of the Eternal Day Demon opened wide. That's not up to you. Because I've discovered that by using the power of righteousness to enter the devil, one can become even more powerful and reach a higher realm. For example, the ultimate immortal. What does it have to do with me? Chen Junai's eyes became slightly hot. Because this Eternal Day Demon does seem to be something special, and I wonder where she came from. The Eternal Day Demon attacked Chen Junai and said, "It really has nothing to do with you, but I also feel that you are the same. Possessed by the devil means possessed by the devil. There is no need to put it in such a high-sounding way." Chen Junai answered the question irrelevantly. The space between his hands turned into a starry night to resist the Eternal Day Demon. Boom! The Eternal Day Demon laughed. Whatever the human or the demon, I have never lost myself. I am still myself. Why should I be so hypocritical? You and I are the same. We have walked the same path just to achieve the ultimate immortality, right? Eternal Night Immortal Demon. Is it fun to give others names? Then should I call you the Eternal Daytime Immortal Emperor? Chen Junai took the lead. However, the Eternal Day Demon can indeed see many things that ordinary people cannot see. It is undeniable that what Yangzhou Tianmo said is right. Ever since his cultivation was exhausted and he was in danger of death, he gained some insights because of his wife's exquisite immortal body. He resumed his cultivation and reached the level of both immortal and demon. It's because of the magic path. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to cultivate so quickly and return to the peak. Even though he hid so well, he was still discovered. It was quite coincidental, because the Eternal Day Demon's situation seemed similar to his, just completely opposite. Otherwise, even someone else at the same level wouldn't have noticed. But what Yangri Tianmo said was very true. I have not lost myself, I am still myself. Then no rules can bind me. Leng Jiushuang was also confused. Why was there an argument? The Eternal Night Immortal Demon, the Eternal Day Immortal Emperor, what was going on? Whatever you want, but Yangri Tianmo didn't care. Since you don't want to surrender, I will conquer you. The Eternal Day Demon's momentum surged. Eternal Day Demon Slayer. In my domain, you have no choice but to bow down and submit. Everything about her became irresistible and powerful. Really, Chen Junai didn't want to hide anymore. Activate his Dark Night Taoist body. The Dark Night Demon is coming. His temperament changed drastically, like a king in the Dark Night. One of the things you said is wrong. We are not the same. Hard talk, Yangri Tianmo turned cold. Chen Junai didn't even bother to hide it. In the end, he was still hard talk. Then let's see, is your magic more powerful, or is my magic better? Suddenly remembered something. If my guess is correct, you had already planned to go there before the demons revealed their intentions. Because with your power, you can easily adapt to the demon abyss. control the demons and become their master without having to become a demon again. Shut up, Chen Junai took the lead. And you, clearly a righteous immortal emperor, chose to help the demon emperor break the seal and control the demons. Yet you have no interest in invading the immortal realm. What on earth is your purpose? This is something he still can't guess. Want to know? Then submit to me. You are not qualified yet. Boom, boom, boom. The two sides fought fiercely, destroying the world. Leng Jiushuang and many powerful people in the Jidao Imperial Palace were completely stunned. It took me a long time to come back to my senses. The course of events was completely beyond their expectations. Looking at the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night again. Before, only his power was dark, but now his whole person is almost blackened. There is also the Eternal Day Demon. He is clearly covered in demonic energy, but his power is extremely bright. As they were thinking about it, they suddenly discovered that the Eternal Day Demon had also become darker. Demon against demon. Magic. The immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is actually a demon. His eyes widened and his jaw dropped. Is it true, as the Eternal Day Demon said, that the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor can easily control the demon abyss? Is it true, as the Immortal Emperor of Eternal Night said, that the Eternal Day Demon controls the demon race, but does not invade the immortal realm for some ulterior motive? Everyone was dumbfounded. Leng Jiushuang murmured to himself, the two paths of immortals and demons. Clothes. I admire you. What a troublemaker. Chapter 203. The peak showdown between immortals and demons. I never thought that the immortal and demonic energies could merge into one, yet still not explode. This really exists. Leng Jiushuang found it a little unbelievable, because if ordinary people practice in this way, it is very easy to go astray and fall completely into the devil's way, or be destroyed by the incompatible forces of the two great ways. As a result, two giant Buddhas appeared at once. The other one was Chen Janai. Perhaps it has something to do with their strength. Perhaps their perception has reached a level that transcends everything. Leng Jiushuang reacted quickly and felt ashamed of himself. Without sufficient personal conditions, that is, talent, it would be difficult to play like this. No wonder Chen Janai ignored Qiu Kui and the others when they showed up. Perhaps he had already thought of another way out for himself, but the unexpected incident of the Eternal Day Demon disrupted everything. No wonder Yangri Tianmo saved the Demon Emperor but had no interest in invading the immortal realm. It turns out she's an immortal herself, and Chen Janai, this unexpected incident, is her target. The details are unclear. This makes sense. Never lost. She successfully grasped the point. I don't know why Chen Janai wanted to do this after what he experienced back then. Boom, boom, boom. The war continues. Two top demons are fighting each other. Interesting. Eternal Day Demon's expression became heated. You are much more powerful than the Demon Emperor. If my guess is correct, your cultivation of the immortal and demonic paths must be related to the Demon Emperor. That is, your past. Otherwise, she didn't think Chen Junai could take this path. At least you will gain some insights. As a result, the feud between Chen Junai and the Demon Emperor put Chen Junai in a desperate situation. You don't have to talk nonsense. Chen Junai did not deny it. It was indeed the battle with the Demon Emperor, and his past experiences had given him some insights. As the saying goes, a blessing in disguise. Of course, this was closely related to his immortal body. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for him to succeed. So generally speaking, he would not reveal his physical condition when he had nothing to do, and he kept it hidden. I'm not talking nonsense. The eyes of the Eternal Day Demon widened, and he argued with her everywhere. It seemed that the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor was not convinced at all. Then do you want to know why I don't want to. Chen Junai turned into a demon and killed the Eternal Day Demon. The appearance of the Eternal Day Demon was strange, and unless she was caught, it would be difficult to figure out her intentions. Yangri Tianmo didn't care this time. I am the same as you, but I am from the demon clan and am not tolerated by the righteous path. But because of my power, everyone thought I wasn't a demon. So I also believed that I wasn't a demon, and I worked hard to practice the righteous path, and eventually I had everything I have today. I'm different from you. I didn't risk my life to survive. Therefore, I'm destined to be stronger than you. Does saying this prove that you are stronger than me? Chen Junai's ears were almost calloused from listening so much. Not really. I will prove with my strength that I am stronger than you. Oh, I'm not interested in competing with you on these things, but your existence has affected my life. I want to nip this in the bud. Humph, ignorance is bliss, a frog in a well. Chen Junai was scolded, but he was not angry. You and I are at the same level, yet you think so highly of yourself. Could it be that you are from another world? Since he knew that his wife was also from another world, he could make such a guess. Not to mention that the appearance of the Eternal Day Demon was too strange. If my wife can do it, then others can do it too. The expression of the Eternal Day Demon changed slightly. You actually know. I didn't expect Chen Junai could guess this. This further proves that Chen Junai may have come into contact with it or heard of it. What's so difficult about this? Chen Junai had an idea in his mind. Sure enough, the Eternal Day Demon might be in the same situation as his wife. I've never heard of someone like you existing in the 33 immortal realms, so you must be from another world. And the Eternal Day Demon simply admitted it. I was right, you've been in contact with it. In that case, I won't waste my words with you anymore. Submit to me. Help me leave this place, and I can show you a wider world and a more powerful realm. Just throw out your conditions and chips. I believe Chen Junai will be moved, but I only heard. Not interested, Chen Junai was unhappy. Your affairs have nothing to do with me. If you continue to disturb me, I will have no choice but to destroy you. Just kidding, they still have to have a baby. The Eternal Day Demon was angry. It was already strange that Chen Junai was not interested, but he actually wanted to kill her. How outrageous. Just you. He snorted coldly. I overestimated you. I didn't expect you to be so unmotivated. I'm afraid of you now. She thought Chen Junai was a coward. Don't provoke me. Chen Junai's face turned cold. I have nothing to do with you. That's not up to you. Yangzhu Tianmo was unwilling to give up, and finally caught someone who knew a little about the situation. How can we just let it go like this? Eternal daylight, immortal sky. With a wave of his hand, a terrifying space appeared, in which a huge and majestic golden palace could be seen. The shadow of the Eternal Day Demon also appeared among them, with the holy sword of light condensed in his hand, and he went to kill Chen Junai. This method seems to have nothing to do with her identity as a demon. Chen Junai's whole body was shaking with strength, dispelling the evil spirit. It was washed clean in the blink of an eye. Then let's try it. Eternal Knight of the ancient times. His power is good at sealing, and he had indeed not made a move in a long time. He had been hiding for so long, without the opportunity to display the methods he had learned, so this was the perfect time to give it a try. As for this move, it condenses the power of time and space. It seems as if the Dark Knight of ancient times could be brought here. The satisfying feeling made him particularly excited, but whether he could suppress and seal the Eternal Daytime Demon, he had no idea at all. Boom, boom, boom. Leng Jushuang and the others' faces changed drastically. So strong, it kept changing, making them dizzy. It would have been fine if he had used demonic means to fight, but now he has cleared himself of all charges. Just now it seemed as if the devil had descended, but now it has disappeared, leaving only righteousness. Extremely confusing. But what did these two big Buddhas say before? Another world. The Eternal Day Demon actually came from another world. She herself didn't deny it. Unbelievable, there are other immortal realms, and they sound even more powerful. This shocked them greatly, and they couldn't calm down for a long time. No wonder the appearance of the Eternal Day Demon was so strange, and his purpose was unclear and wrong. So that's why he wanted to capture Chen Junai and help her leave here. More importantly, it seems that Chen Junai has also come into contact with it a long time ago. Otherwise, how could you guess it right at once? Messy. It's messy. Chapter 204. Damn it. It feels like the Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor has been beaten. The fight between two peak immortal emperors is naturally extremely powerful. Xia Xiao is taking care of the baby at the moment. Her expression was somewhat solemn as she looked in the direction of Jidao Imperial Palace, because she knew that it was the Eternal Day Demon who appeared, and her husband went to investigate the situation. Now it seems that my husband is fighting with the Eternal Day Demon. This made her heart tighten, because just now she couldn't discern her husband's breath. Only the evil energy of the Eternal Day Demon scared her and almost suffocated her. Now it looks like the husband has escaped danger and seems to have the upper hand. Tilde. That's good. Mom, where is Dad? Chen Ziyuan and Chen Zihao have been relatively free recently. Apart from adventure, there is eating, drinking, and having fun, and cultivation is left to fate. Xia Xiao was worried about her husband, but she also had to stay with her baby. Yuan or Hayar, Daddy has gone to protect the Jidao Imperial Palace and will be back soon. Her husband promised her that he would come back. Protecting the Jidao Imperial Palace. Mother, is there a hateful bad guy appearing? Then let's go help Daddy. The two little ones started to get angry and clenched their fists. Zia Jiao gently touched their heads. Don't worry, Yuan or Hayar. Daddy will be fine, and Jidao Imperial Palace will be fine too. We just need to wait for Daddy to come back and go to sleep. Is that so? Oh well. The two little ones calmed down. After all, Daddy was the most powerful, and he would definitely be able to drive away the bad guys. Mother, please give us a bath. No, Ziohao, it will tire Mother and Sister. That's right. Zia Jiao smiled and said, You and her Hayar, Mother and Sister are not that fragile yet. Okay, Mother will give you a bath and wait for Father to come back. Yeah. Mom, let's go to the fairy pond quickly. As they spoke, the two kids pulled Zia Jiao and ran away. Zia Jiao was a little conflicted about whether she should go to help her husband, but since her husband didn't let her go, she had no choice but to obey. Besides, we're in the Jidao Imperial Palace, and with the palace master here, there shouldn't be any major problems. Zia Jiao prayed in her heart. However, if the Eternal Day Demon is an unforgivable demon, it would be difficult for my husband and the palace master to deal with it. Everywhere in the fairyland, all the great immortal emperors sensed the terrifying power released by the Jishiandao immortal realm, and their faces froze. It's the battle between the immortal emperors. That breath just now was demonic energy. Even the Jishiandao immortal realm was not immune. Needless to say, there must be a powerful demon who went to the Jishiandao immortal realm. The demons have always been wary of the immortal Emperor Eternal Night and have never dared to take any action against the Jishiandao immortal realm. Now, the Eternal Day Demon has appeared. With such a commotion, there is no other possibility except the Eternal Day Demon. Thinking of this, everyone's face looked unhappy. I didn't expect that the Eternal Day Demon would appear again. It looks like he's fighting with the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. It's not hard to guess that Leng Jushuang would have a hard time dealing with the Eternal Day Demon. And now that the Eternal Night Emperor has returned, he certainly won't sit idly by. But the demonic energy just now was truly terrifying. The Eternal Day Demon is even more powerful than we imagined. Perhaps even the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night is no match for that demon. Otherwise, the demonic energy wouldn't have had the upper hand before. It's all over. Even the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night was beaten. Cold. At that time, they all thought that the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor had been defeated. After all, it was all demonic energy, and it was difficult to detect other auras. It looks better now. Maybe it's not over yet. Realizing that the evil spirit was almost gone, everyone became excited again. It must be that the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night launched a surprise counterattack. Otherwise, the evil spirit would not be suppressed. It seems that the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor is still powerful. At least he can be on par with the Eternal Day Demon, and the gap is not too big. They don't know exactly what happened, but now they can't go and watch the fun. They have to be wary of the Demon Emperor, because the Demon Emperor is their opponent. It seemed like the Eternal Day Demon was too lazy to pay attention to them. Otherwise, the Eternal Day Demon wouldn't have appeared right after the Eternal Night Emperor returned. No matter what the Eternal Day Demon's purpose is, I hope the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor can suppress it. First, curse a wave of Eternal Day Demons. At the same time, the Demon Emperor laughed, because he could sense that a great battle between the immortal emperors had taken place in the Jishiandao immortal realm. Then there is only one possibility. The Eternal Day Demon has finally taken action. No matter what she wants to do, as long as she fights with the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, it will be a good thing. Previously, the Eternal Day Demon was still being stubborn, but unexpectedly, he became very obedient and went to find the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. Oh, female devil. This further confirmed that this female devil had ulterior motives in causing trouble for the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor. The Demon Emperor couldn't figure it out, so he didn't bother to think about it anymore. A chuckling laugh. If they fight, it would be best if both of them suffer losses. He planned to stay low and wait and see what happened. If the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night and the Demon of Eternal Day were both defeated, the benefits to him would be self-evident, and he could reap the benefits. By then, the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night will be injured, and the threat to him will be smaller, and he won't have to be on guard against the immortal Emperor of Eternal Night trying to kill him. It is even easier to heal the Eternal Day Demon's wounds. Just drive that female devil away and regain his power and status in the demon clan. But he is not a fool, and he has to prepare for the worst. In case the immortal emperor of eternal night and the demon of eternal day no longer want to fight and suddenly reconcile, he must be prepared. Otherwise, the eternal day demon would hand him over to the eternal night immortal emperor to be chopped off. Or maybe the eternal day demon is no match for the eternal night immortal emperor. Then no one will be able to stop the eternal night immortal emperor, and he may still be hacked to death. Thinking of this, the demon emperor became a little depressed. This feeling, the feeling of being dominated, is too painful. It just seems like the difference in their strength isn't that big. He noticed something. Everyone thought that the eternal night immortal emperor had been defeated, but suddenly there was a reversal, which made him excited for a while in vain. Now it feels like the eternal night immortal emperor has the upper hand, which makes him frown. This is not a good thing. Other powerful demons also became excited. It seems that the eternal day demon has finally taken action. I hope to persuade the eternal night immortal emperor to rebel. And if even the eternal day demon himself fails, then it is basically impossible. The demons are destined to have one more terrible enemy, and they will be unable to sleep or eat. The imperial palace of Jidao. The war continues, but after a fight, no one could do anything to the other in a short time. In other words, they have not yet reached the point where they will fight to the death and must pay a price to kill each other. The eternal day demon was a little displeased. She had never thought that Chen Junai would be so difficult to deal with at first. It is also very similar to the path she is practicing. Otherwise, if she were an ordinary peak-level immortal emperor, she would not have to fight so vigorously. But the more this happened, the more she wanted to conquer Chen Junai and make him fall at her feet. Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, it is undeniable that you are indeed powerful. It will be difficult for me to defeat you without paying a price. Then perhaps we can become Taoist companions. Chapter 205, about the lack of ambition. Eternal Day Demon, the beauty trap won't work on me. Chen Junai saw through the Eternal Day Demon's thoughts at a glance. And he truly couldn't do anything to the Eternal Daylight Demon. Even with his previous powerful methods, he hadn't been able to seal the Eternal Daylight Demon, and instead had been slashed by it. This kind of opponent was unpredictable and shouldn't be underestimated. Of course, they did not reach the point of fighting to the death, and they would not lose 800 of their own men and injure 1,000 of the enemy, because he was not willing to bear such a price, let alone take the gamble. After Yang Zhou Tianmo's thoughts were exposed, he didn't care. "I'm serious," he said lightly. "Since neither of us can do anything to the other, why not become companions? You can help me and I can help you as well. How about that?" She didn't want to kill Chen Junai, she just wanted him to surrender. Unexpectedly, Chen Junai was not happy about it, so there was no point in them fighting anymore, otherwise both sides would suffer. So in this situation, she can only make some sacrifices. Chen Junai said calmly, "Are your words misleading? Are you trying to mislead me and achieve your goal?" Even the Eternal Day Demon was stunned. "Why do you think so?" "I speak from experience. After all, many evildoers like to deceive people in this way, making their opponents let down their guard so they can take advantage of them. So stubborn, Humph, I wouldn't bother using that kind of method. You can rest assured. If that's not the case, then why are you so frivolous and flirting with a decent man?" The Eternal Day Demon's reaction time couldn't keep up at all. "Asshole, this is breaking her mood. You are a devil, what kind of decent man are you? And I am openly seeking your opinion. How can I be so frivolous?" "Oh, a demon says I am a demon, how laughable." Chen Junai planned to anger Yang Zhou Tianmo to death. The Eternal Day Demon was so angry that he laughed. She has already taken a step back. It would be fine if he didn't want to be her Taoist partner, but he also said hurtful words to her. Calm down, calm down. Don't let your mentality get in the way." "Ha tilde," he said calmly, "I know you are not ambitious. If I were to let you become my Taoist companion, I would be of no use to you. Go ahead and make a condition." She thought she was quite charming, strong, and talented, and could give birth and raise children, but it also depended on the person. To a man like the Eternal Night Immortal Emperor, it was obviously not very lethal, so perhaps the additional conditions would be valuable. Not motivated to make progress, Chen Junai was so angry that he laughed. "What the hell does the Eternal Day Demon know? Why do you think I can help you leave this place? Is there anyone else with a greater possibility besides you?" Eternal Day Demon asked back. "Although you are not ambitious, I don't mind." Heh, Chen Junai was too lazy to argue with him. As a family man, how could a single guy like Yang Zhou Tianmo understand him? "You don't mind, but I do. I've already told you that we are different because I have a family, a wife, and children. Facing Chen Junai's boasting, Yangzhou Tianmo just smiled coldly, making her feel like she couldn't give birth to a little devil. That's my inconsiderateness. It's fine if you don't want to make progress yourself, but don't you think about your wife and children? Tell me what the conditions are. I'll help them and you help me. Chen Junai was silent for a moment. It seems his weakness has been discovered. Then he thought about his own child. My children are not ambitious either, and they won't agree to this either. Therefore, your promise is still worthless. No need to waste time. Yang Zhou Tianmo's eyes widened, and he was furious. This kind of father is too unreliable. Leng Jiushuang and the others were still in a mess. Taoist companion, why are they arguing again out of the blue? As expected, no one can do anything to the other, so they can only quarrel. But if Xiao knew about this, then Xiao would definitely be on her way to kill me. He quickly stopped him. Eternal Day Demon, do you want me, the Jidao Imperial Palace, to personally escort you out? It must be stopped. Eternal Day Demon and Chen Junai were both unable to defeat each other, so this was her chance. As long as she could step forward, she could upset the balance to a certain extent and help Chen Junai, putting Eternal Day Demon at a disadvantage. Yangzhou Tianmo didn't take Leng Jiushuang too seriously, but she had to admit that in the current situation, Leng Jiushuang would break the balance of power between her and Chen Junai. Not to mention that this is their territory, so it will have some impact after all. No need. Eternal Knight Immortal Emperor. If that's the case, then it depends on who among us can be the first to break through to the absolute immortal realm. As long as any one of them breaks through to the absolute immortal realm, everything will fall apart. Chen Junai was a little unhappy. He didn't expect that he would need someone to urge him to break through. I am not ambitious, so I congratulate you first. Then I accept your congratulations and will wait and see. After saying that, the Eternal Day Demon left quietly and silently. Since her goal was not achieved, she didn't want to waste time anymore. Of course, she didn't think Chen Junai was a fool or that he really had no ambition. He was just saying that to her. As for threatening Chen Junai's wife and children, Chen Junai would definitely fight her to the death, and the loss would outweigh the gain. She just wanted to leave and didn't want to put herself at unnecessary risk. Then fight for it with your strength. Seeing that the Eternal Day Demon finally retreated, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. However, Leng Jiushuang took note of her. Jun Yi, thank you for showing up in time. Palace Master, you are too polite. If it weren't for me, perhaps the Eternal Day Demon would not have appeared in the Jidao Imperial Palace. Chen Junai knew what was going on. Although the problem of the Eternal Day Demon cannot be completely solved, figuring out her purpose is not entirely without gain. Leng Jiushuang nodded. Then how should we deal with it next? Strive to reach the realm of absolute immortality. Chen Junai was forced to do so and had no choice but to strive for progress. Otherwise, if Yangri Tianmo really breaks through to the level of Juxian, then let's not talk about anything else. The entire fairy world won't know who has the final say. Leng Jiushuang was slightly shocked. Absolute immortal. Okay, the Jidao Imperial Palace will definitely help you with all its strength. As for the fact that Chen Junai is also considered a demon, just pretend you didn't see it for now. I dare not say it, nor do I dare to ask. Then, Chen Junai left the Jidao Imperial Palace. Go back and tell your wife and children that you are safe. After returning to their home, they found that their children were already asleep. Zia Jiao accompanied him, but she didn't close her eyes. Obviously, she was extremely worried. Madam, Chen Junai called the child's mother quietly, feeling quite distressed. Husband Tilda. When Zia Jiao saw Chen Junai returning, she didn't say a word and ignored the baby and rushed over first. He hung it on Chen Junai without hesitation. Then they tangled for a while. Ma'am, I'm sorry to have worried you. It's good that my husband is back. Husband, please carry me away quickly, so as not to wake up Yuaner and Hayar. Good. Husband, what happened? Tell me quickly. Chapter 206, Zia Jiao. I feel like I'm starting to get angry. Zia Jiao stared at Chen Junai with great curiosity. Holding her husband in her arms, she now feels particularly comfortable. Chen Junai knew that the mother of the child was worried about him. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so clingy even after giving birth to 2 children, like a little goblin in his arms. But I don't know how to start. I could only say, Madam, this matter is a little complicated, but not that complicated. The Eternal Day Demon has already retreated. Her intention is not to attack the Jidao Imperial Palace, nor does she have any plans for the 33 immortal realms. You can rest assured. Heard. Zia Jiao became puzzled. My husband, what is the real purpose of the Eternal Day Demon? Madam, her target is me. Husband, what do you mean? Jia was stunned for a moment and then started to get angry. Unexpectedly, the Eternal Day Demon targeted the child's father. Chen Junai explained, the Eternal Day Demon comes from another world and, like us, cannot leave easily. So she tried to get me to help her, and that's how she lured me out. Another world? Jia was very surprised. She didn't expect that the Eternal Day Demon also came from another world. That makes sense. But my husband, why would the Eternal Day Demon target you? Chen Junai was quite helpless. Maybe she needed someone strong enough to help her, so she set her sights on me. Then you agreed, Jia asked in her soul. Now that the purpose of the Eternal Day Demon has been clarified, there seems to be less trouble, and there is no need to worry too much about